Comic Timing is a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Welcome to episode 75 of Comic Timing, a comics podcast devoted to the average comic book fan from the average comic book fan. Join in as a rotating panel of guests and myself, Ian Levinstein, discuss whatever comes to mind, time after time, here on Comic Timing. Just in time for Election Day, it's time for Comic Timing's take on politics in comics. John Carroll, Chad Burdett, and the Geeks Unite crew join myself, minus the usual dude, to discuss everything in and around the world of politics. Do not sue me around comics for saying in and around. Here now, Comic Timing. Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 75 of Comic Timing. Well, to celebrate episode 75, we're having a Rent Casino List episode. Okay, that's not what we're really doing to celebrate episode 75, but he's not here. He's helping out his girlfriend and a couple of other buddies on a project they're doing, so hopefully that turns out well for you. We did have this whole thing scheduled for the week previous to this, but the recorder died on us, so this time we're hoping for a little bit more luck that does not occur this time around. But we do have a full panel here, and we will be joined by more people in about another half hour or so. But first off, let me introduce the panel for you, starting off with the returning guest, the guy who is finally on an episode where we are not inside of a hotel room, and it only took him 2 years of being on the show. It's Chad Burdett. What's going on, Chad?
Well, I'm sitting here with my Puppet Rios 08 button on and ready to talk some comic books and politics.
See, that's the way to get yourself in style, man.
I know. Finally, a candidate I can support.
Yes, Puppet Rios in 08, right there. I somehow I have a feeling he's not going to have that good of a tax plan. I don't know.
Can't be any worse than what the McCain and Obama are pitching.
Well, or better yet, what is your economic relief plan? More Jorge Perez comics. Next question.
Yes.
But anyway, welcome back to the show, Chad, and nice to hear you on Skype.
Thank you.
All right. And we're also joined on this episode by John Carroll for the first time, although he's been on other podcasts before, so it's not like he's a podcasting virgin, but he's a comic timing virgin. So, yeah, like a virgin, cutting for the very first time. John, what's up?
John McCain's campaign is dead.
Oh, we're off to a good start. Now we've had Chris Chavez Equinox on the forums take on My Parents Are Dead. Now we've had John Carroll's take on My Parents Are Dead. I think my life is complete here, John. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, you nice little Jewish boy. Let me pat you on the head. Oh, isn't that sweet?
Baruch atah Adonai, motherfuckers.
Yeah, why don't you do me a favor and go drown yourself in matzo ball soup?
You know, that would be a very favorable death. Matzo ball soup is delicious.
Okay, go eat some gefilte fish.
You know, that's actually not too bad either. Have you ever had?
Okay, why don't you go live with your parents for the rest of your life?
No. Oh, that is where we draw the line there, sir. I will be out of the Harry Potter-sized room in 3 weeks' time. Now, let me mention something here first about that. Comic timing is going to be a little bit sparse for probably the first maybe 2 weeks of November or something like that as I get myself acclimated in the new place. So I'm not quite certain what our recording schedule is going to be, whether or not Brent's going to put out some episodes himself or whether or not he's going to have some BK's Bullets to fill the time. But nevertheless, we're probably going to be missing a little bit in the first couple weeks of November. But breathe a sigh of relief that we will be back. It'll be a good time to catch up on 75 episodes of Comic Timing for those of you who came in late. A lot of our episodes are still topical, even now. It's not like we talk about that often. Hey, did you read issue 1 of Insert Comic Book here? And now it's up to issue 20. You're not going to have to worry about that much, except for the reviews, the review episodes. But
I really liked Insert Comic Book here, issue number 1.
Oh, yeah. Actually, although I'm more of a fan of the relaunch.
I was hoping for a foil cover, but, you know, what can you say? What can you do?
Maybe for volume 3, if we cross our fingers. Maybe
gold
just maybe.
foil or gold or silver? Or green?
Let's
green
go green.
foil.
Green.
Both.
Yeah. Or red. Like I remember that one issue where like Johnny Storm goes Inferno in Fantastic Four, and I remember the first copy was white holofoil, like not even white holofoil, just like white stamped, and then the second variant was red stamped, and then I think they had a third one that was yellow stamped. So let's just go back to that era. I think things will be super.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah, depending on who you ask, most people are just going to say the bad old days. That was my beginning, man. That was my beginning. And this episode of Comic Timing is sponsored, as always, by Heroes Corner over at heroescorner.com. It's a brand new month, and with a brand new month comes a brand new load of specials, and this month is no exception. To celebrate Veterans Day, Heroes Corner is putting together a bundle of comic books where you're going to be able to get 3 comic books which retail for $12.48, all for just $3.99. And these comic books are the brand new G.I. Joe #1 that's coming out this month, along with Captain America, Theater of War, America the Beautiful, and Garth Ennis's Battlefield Dear Billy #1. All 3 of these are solicited this month into the November previews, and you're getting all of them together for $3.99, which is in essence 2 free comic books. How awesome is that? And G.I. Joe #1, hey, come on. Who can resist G.I. Joe? Seriously. And the Comic Timing discount code for the month is CTROCKS. That's CTROCKS. Same one as always. So 5% off on your first order with Heroes Corner. So CTROCKS, CTROCKS. Go ahead and use Heroes Corner for the first time. Get an additional 5% off on the order to make it even more worth using. And here are the Comic Timing picks of the month for November. Final Crisis #7, 50% off of regular price. This is the Doug Mahnke and Grant Morrison issue. Retailing for $3.99. The Heroes Corner price is $2 after the 50% off. G-Man #1, which is by everybody's favorite mini Marvel. The retail price on this one is $5.95, as he does his first ever, I believe this is actually his first ever, in the same style of mini Marvels. He's putting together an entirely new comic book for Image Comics with new superheroes and everything. 50% off of the retail of $5.95. It's a 64-page book, so it's definitely worth it for $2.98. And Punisher #1, the brand new Rick Remender Punisher series, begins here, and I believe he's going after Sentry, which should certainly be fun for anybody who doesn't like Sentry. $3.99. Heroes Corner price, 75% off of $1. So go ahead and check this all out this month on Heroes Corner. Best customer service around, heroescorner.com. All right. Let's stop reminiscing here. Let's talk politics and comics. What say you?
Yay.
Say me, say it together.
And before we go break out into song like what usually happens on Comic Timing, let's actually run through things here as listed on the website. Here we go. And by the way, this is part of the Comics Podcasting Theme Month, and I'll have a link to it in the show notes. So a whole bunch of comics podcasters are doing politics in comics this month. So we figured we'd do a nice general politics and comics here because that's what we do best on Comic Timing. So that's what we're doing here. As part of the Comic Book Podcasting Theme Month, Comic Timing covers politics and comics. What are some of your favorite storylines involving politics? How political do you like your comic books? Is there a market for a general political comic book? Will you be picking up the McCain-Obama one-shots that just came out this week? And do these sort of comics reach an audience otherwise unattainable? When politicians are used in comics, would you prefer they be generic comic book characters or actual real-life politicians? What say you on Stephen Colbert's presidential campaign still existing in the Marvel Universe? Do Marvel and DC slant towards one side of politics, or do you feel they are somewhat balanced? How far should the average superhero go when heroics interact with politics? And finally, for shites and giggles, what superhero would you like to see as president of these United States of America? And for all you foreign guys, sorry, we're a U.S. podcast. I can't really say who's going to be the Prime Minister of Britain because I don't really know that much about that. Well, I'll just say Captain Britain now, all right? Just make life easier.
What about people who converted to us, Flint? Does he count?
No, he counts. He's officially a United States person.
He still prefers soccer. That's not American.
No. That would be football to him.
Soccer.
Ian, that's very isolationist of you.
Oh, yes. Excuse me very much. I'm sorry, Lord Shaper, Mr. Damian Smith, if I'm breaking you off from everybody else, but this is America here, and we got to talk about Americans. So say you. All right.
Country first.
Exactly. So
My country, Tennessee.
sweet land of politics. All right, so here we go. We will begin with what are some of your favorite storylines involving politics, and let's go to John first for variety's sake. So, John, give me some of your favorites.
Geez, I really have to come up with a good answer on this one, don't I?
Yeah, sure, man. You're first up. You're first up. You got to floor us, man. You got to blow our minds.
Well, in that vein, I'm not there. I can't think of anything involving Monica Lewinsky. Ollie Queen's run as mayor of the beautiful city of Star City that was divided as he was mayor.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, of course, the wonderful President-elect's run. That's directly, but you've also got tons of comics where the creators' political viewpoints came in. I mean, sometimes they would bludgeon you over the head. I'm not going to say any names, Judd Winnick, but
Why, I have no idea what you are speaking of, sir.
yeah, is it just me, or have you noticed how when he writes Connor Hawk, Connor's a lot gayer than he is at any other point when anybody else was writing him?
All right. Well, let me put this straight up there. Well, first off, he only really wrote Connor. Well, okay, no, he wrote him in the regular Green Arrow series too. But as of late, Connor's been mostly a vegetable, so it's kind of hard to write him one way or the other. But he's always sort of been a little bit flamboyant. But Judd does take it to that extra level. But he's still more asexual than anything else.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's don't forget it. Well, I think whoever wrote was the writer right after Kevin Smith on Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
When Arsenal.
Yeah, Brad Meltzer.
I think it was Meltzer when both Green Arrow and Red Arrow. I'm sorry, Connor and my favorite hero of all time, Arsenal went out to they went to a titty bar. Remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Yes,
that
I
very
do.
well.
Yeah, and it's like it's like everything is like I like girls. I'm a virgin. I don't care.
Well,
But getting back to politics, I've never read it, but I hear Ex Machina is supposed to be pretty good.
It is, and I'll definitely touch on that a little bit as we continue on here. That is really good.
Yeah. If you want to reach back to the 70s and early 80s, you've got, of course, All-Star Squadron, which incorporated the politics of their time that they were written in, the World War II era, with what was going on in the books. Last Days of the Justice Society, not Last Days of the Society, the McCarthy hearings when they basically were forced to disband rather than come out.
Yeah, which was covered very well. Well, I guess really this was sort of when it was first really brought up, but in the Golden Age series, James Robinson did.
No, it was mentioned long before that.
Oh, was that? Okay, all right. See,
it was mentioned before that, but
okay.
Remember, Golden Age still is not officially canon. It's never been, except it's always been in Elseworlds.
Yeah, because I've heard both. I randomly, like, some people consider it canon, other people consider it not canon. So I don't know exactly where to put it.
Well, if you consider it, don't forget it. You can consider it canon because there are characters who died in that were still alive many years later. There are characters in there that just didn't act that way. I mean, so
any idea when that first came up? Then the whole McCarthy thing.
I want to say the 70s, or early 80s. Mm-hmm. Because I think they used that as the it also could have been right after Crisis as the reason for why the JSA basically disappeared for 20 or so years, 20, 30 years until the second age of the heroes came around. Of course, you've got the big important movie that's coming out sometime in March. Well, supposed to come out in March. Their take on Nixon and the wonderful little war in Vietnam.
Okay, yeah. Watchmen will come out in March. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I'm straight up saying here that there's going to be some sort of, a settlement long before the movie's going to be coming out, and we'll have Watchmen because I think Fox is really just looking for money and possibly the rights to like other projects.
Yeah, from what I had actually heard this on, I think it was Line in the Gutters. Everybody probably read this that. Basically, they want the rights to basically release the Batman TV show.
Yeah, I saw that.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
be good for both. Double win.
Yeah, and it would celebrate the recent passing of the guy who wrote the theme song. Leader. I mean, Batman. All right,
yes. Random Simpsons references, you gotta love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to since the World War II era to say a lot of politics in comics because a lot of them have kind of run away from it, thanks to, in large part, I think, to the Comic Code Authority.
Right.
They've kept politics out. They've kept political themes in there at times. I mean, of course, your favorite comic, Spider-Man, with the mayoral race in what's that city again?
That would be New York City, I believe.
Or a New York City.
A New York City, yes. But at least the Marvel Universe version where, all the superheroes are. Oh, but wait, the initiative changed that. I'm sorry. So we'll be able to have, random characters you haven't seen since 1972 appearing in Marvel Comics because they happen to live in Des Moines, Iowa.
What's wrong with Des Moines, Iowa?
There's nothing wrong with
corn?
There's nothing wrong with Des Moines, Iowa. I'm just saying that most of the time you're going to find a character that you haven't seen since 1973 in Des Moines, Iowa. Am I right?
Yes, I didn't read much Kirby.
You're talking Marvel, so you lost me.
All right. Well. You know what? To bring in some further voices into this episode, I'm bringing in the Geeks Unite guys right now. They just finished up their recording, so I believe that they're open. So before we head over to Chad, let me introduce to the rest of the folks out there. They haven't been on an episode in a while, but congratulations. Welcome to episode 75, Raph Suhu.
Oh, well, don't you know, I love being on Comic Time, and this show is such a maverick show. I just love it so much.
Now, let me...
Hey, you promised me there'd be no minorities on here. You told me this would be a good Republican podcast. You told me this would be a Republican-themed podcast.
Listen, Ian Levinstein is a maverick. You do not need to question his record. He's a nice, swell guy who just loves shooting deer from a helicopter.
If you don't just get this out of your system now, Raph, I know where you basically live, and I will find you and I will kill you.
It's okay. He'll just fall into the crowd with the rest of the Chinese people. You can't find him.
We are also joined by Juan de Lots of Names Jesus for the first time in a little bit. Juan, how you been, man?
Oh, we're just a bunch of outsiders coming in here to make a difference.
Not you two.
But I like the outsiders. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, they're a good Batman, Metamorpho, Geoforce. Oh, they're a good team.
We just tell big podcasts like Comic Timing, hey, get out of our way. And let little podcasts like Geeks Unite do what they want with their show.
Yeah, you're damn right you're little.
Yeah, I'm not little. That's what you said.
Whoa!
Let's get off Ian's mom.
Oh, that's cold.
It's a good Jewish woman.
That's cold outside.
It's not that cold here yet, actually. It's still in the 60s.
Yeah, my nipples are
It's about 55 here in Memphis.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go into complete and utter insanity like usually happens, we were just talking about some of our favorite runs in politics, and we were just about to get up to Chad, so Juan and Raph, I'll get to you guys next. So, Chad, give me some of your favorite political runs in comics.
All right. First, I have Transmetropolitan, which is the series by Warren Ellis, which chronicles the Spider Jerusalem, who's a Hunter S. Thompson-esque Gonzo reporter, and his fighting of the corruption and the abuse of power of two successful presidents. And really, the second year of the series is when it shifts towards the lengthy storyline between the Smiler and the Beast.
Yeah. Plus, I think Spider Jerusalem and Transmetropolitan basically are the blank template for all Warren Ellis stories that are not based in the Marvel Universe right now. Because I tried to read Dr. Sleepless, and after one issue, I'm like, wow, I read Transmetropolitan already.
And this past week, I went back and was just thumbing through the issues, and it was published from 97 to 2002, and Ellis was kind of, I guess it's kind of creepy, but like Spider uses like a blog type thing once he gets fired from the paper to, file his reports, and that's the big thing with bloggers and politics nowadays.
Yeah.
And then you also have the Callahan, the Smiler, arranges for the city to be left defenseless from a hurricane-type superstorm that ravages the city and kills thousands, which
will never happen for real.
Never happen.
No. Can never see that really happening because we have a National Guard to stop such things from happening, right?
But that can't happen because they're in a foreign country.
Oh, but they're a National Guard, Juan. What are you talking about?
But they're in a foreign country.
Yeah, you're very low right now, Juan.
That's because I was in a foreign country called the Bronx.
That's because you're a maverick.
I am a maverick. I am an outsider. I just honestly, Batgirl naked, awesome.
Outside our country. If you're from outside the country, that doesn't count.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
Moving on.
Anyway, Chad.
My next one is Army at Love, and basically it's kind of like tells the story of an extended conflict in 2010, and to encourage people to sign up for the Army. They allow like cell phones, and they have a hedonistic lifestyle, and there's the hot zone, which is basically knocking boots during combat, and so that kind of relates to the wars that are going on right now. I have Fables, because you have not only I think it was within the first couple issues you had Prince Charming running for mayor of Fabletown and promising everything.
Yeah, that was about issue 20, I think, right? Or 20 or 30, something like that?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But not only did you have that, but you also have the, I guess, political interaction between Fabletown and New York, or the Mundy world, and Fabletown and the other kingdoms within the Fables realm.
Yeah, see, I've tried to find Fabletown, and all I found was a warehouse, so I was pissed.
I thought it was right next to Nike Town.
Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look again.
Right next between Tag Heuer and Nike Town. It looks like the Jets front office is really Fabletown. Fucking Tonks, man.
Yeah, the real New York is a lot less interesting than the one in Fable World, Chad. Not nearly as many wolves walking around in humans' clothing. Wait, never mind.
Well, I guess I won't be coming down to the city anytime soon then.
Damn it.
Why would you feel like an outsider?
Juan, I sort of know where you live too. Just reminding you, okay? All right.
Okay, I also have the U.S., which was Uncle Sam, which was a 2-issue Vertigo book by Alex Ross, and basically it was Alex Ross hitting you over the head with his political beliefs. But he paints some pretty pictures.
How many lumps did he leave on your head?
At the time, he pretty much beat me up. But it's it's not a bad story. But as long as you take it with a grain of salt and a healthy portion of critical thought, kids
do not let Alex Ross steal your lunch money.
Yes. Unless he paints a pretty picture for you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pretty pictures, I don't know. Does anybody on the call watch True Blood? Has anybody seen the picture of George W. As a vampire biting the Statue of Liberty?
Yes, I've seen that one.
Okay.
He also did the one of Obama doing the Superman thing.
Yes, I've seen that.
And Bush making out. Because we have Mavericks.
Yeah, thanks, Raph. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore that one. But yeah, no, behind the bar, in True Blood, like there's a vampire bar, and right behind the bar is that shot of George W. as a vampire biting the Statue of Liberty. So that was kind of fun to see that there. Got any others, Chad?
Going back to Green Arrow, not like the 1969 to 1983 when it was Green Lantern and Green Arrow, and Green Arrow was more the Robin Hood / radical social political activist, and Green Arrow was the by the book, wanting to work within the system type person. And they, throughout the series, they, embarked on a quest to find America while witnessing corruption, racism, pollution, and overpopulation, which was confronting the nation.
In essence, finding America.
Right.
The real America, not the, oh yes, everything's shiny here. There's no problems.
And when I was doing research for this, I didn't know this, but in 1979, Green Arrow ran for mayor of Star City and lost in a close vote.
Whoa! Oh my God! Wow, it's like history repeating itself.
But that probably got reconned after Crisis. So
I guess because now Star City seems to have forgotten that Oliver Queen tried this once before.
And then, along with Green Arrow, is the Grail run to basically, it took Green Arrow out of the DC universe proper, and he was more of the street level hero. Had run-ins with the CIA and drug dealers, and it was like when Hal Jordan appeared, but he appeared as Hal Jordan and not Green Lantern. So, I also have the 9/11 books that DC, Marvel, and the alternative press put out to help raise money for the 9/11 victims.
Yeah, could you touch on the DC one a little bit, because the only ones I picked up were the Marvel ones.
Well, they put out two. It was like a DC Comics and a Dark Horse, two, trade size books, and I mean, basically the DC one is, they have like Crypto, delivering water to the. It's just like short little stories about the day and interactions, and even reading it, just flipping through it, it's like, ooh, wow.
Yeah, both art and story were good.
Oh yeah, you had different styles of arts and different stories and different takes, and it was really good.
Cool.
That's mine.
Excellent. All right. Now, Juan, you get to speak.
Oh, well, one of my favorite political runs was Richard Nixon inside of Watchmen, because he presided over the closest we ever got to a nuclear war on a fictional page, without actually detonating a nuclear weapon. We also have to go ahead and take into account Ron Reagan in Dark Knight Returns, because he actually had a nuclear weapon dropped on him, but he used Superman as a political tool. We have Superman, Batman, Absolute Power. That was a great little Loeb run where you had them representing complete semi-fascism or just complete oligarchy inside of a comic book page and having redefined to fight them. Like Chad said, you had Green Arrow. You had Prince Charming over at Fables. But more importantly, God, I had it in my head just a minute ago. The Shade Organization inside of Seven Soldiers. And you had the replacement of a president that was elected. I think Misty Knight's father, President Knight, was replaced and used as a tool. So politics is always prevalent in comics. In fact, politics that are always used in comics, whether it's small or big, and we have to consider that comic books are a mirror for us to go ahead and question what we have to go ahead and understand is that the questioning may not so be on a political issue, but on the actual system that is established by certain leaders. And that was ever evident in Watchmen, and it was ever evident in Dark Knight Returns, but it was also evident with Green Arrow inside of his mayoral campaign, what he had to do, and exactly how he ran the city. You also, with Prince Charming, you saw that just because you want public office doesn't mean you understand what it is to be a public servant. I
think that Prince Charming sort of learned the hard way Like after he was elected, he's like, oh shit, what now?
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of people would like to be president. A lot of people would like to be a senator, but they don't understand that they're accountable and that there are responsibilities to their job. You just don't get a $200,000 a year salary and a government car and say, "Ha, go on your way." You know, there are responsibilities. You don't. Not unless you're Ted Stevens. But regardless,
tubes.
Regardless of that, you know, it's interesting to see how exactly politics have played a role in almost every comic that we read, and yet we don't notice it because it's done in such a tactful way. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right.
Love
comics. Comics are nice. They're pretty. They make me feel happy inside. Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, Juan, I mean, you were mentioning that comics are basically politics are in every comic. It'd be cool if comics were in every politics. That'd be kind of silly. But so are there any comic books that you think the average person might not realize is political when in reality it is?
Yeah, there are quite a few. Like Chad said, you get lost in a story of fables. Mm-hmm. Yet it shows what happens when you have a system that has become complacent with King Cole. Mm-hmm. And once that system has become complacent, people just accept it. And they keep electing him and electing him and electing him. But when someone rises to meet that challenge and say, hey, you're doing a crappy job, and then they use every single trick in the book, and you think, oh, this guy's just a douchebag because he's Prince Charming and he's a scumbag. You know, he was ever since the first episode. Mm-hmm. The first issue. So that theme has carried through the entire book so far up to that point in time. So when he goes ahead and him and everybody else who's funding him, he's doing a grassroots movement, you know, it's questioning both the system and the anti-establishment. So you have to understand that mob mentality is bad and complacency is bad. Mm-hmm. But you don't see that in the book. In the book, you see this is a great story. Look, you got the orcs on one side, you got the goblins on the other side. You got Big V who doesn't want any change because he's happy where he is. He's a pseudo fascist, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have Prince Charming, who is the absolute scum of the earth, right? He's a swindler. Everyone knows his deal, and yet he's coming up to replace someone who really doesn't do anything. Yeah. Snow White does everything. But since you don't see it as that, you see it as characters you care about. You don't realize that it's questioning what a system could fall into and what a system could be changed into. And fortunately, Willingham has gone ahead and refined it and made Prince Charming kind of notice it. But the biggest reaction that I think was very political was when King Cole lost the election and he said, "What did I do wrong?" Right. You don't understand sometimes that you do things wrong, but you do have to accept that you do them. And that's the biggest political lesson that I have seen come out of most of the comics that I have read.
Well, actually, let me turn to John here for a minute because I know that he was a fan of this Fable storyline as well. I know that Chad basically stole your thunder a little bit last time we were trying to do this about the storyline. So, John, you want to touch on the Fable storyline a little bit? What drew you to it? What made you enjoy it?
I'm guessing you're referring to the election storyline.
Yeah.
It's basically because Charming won because he did like most politicians do. That, well, the assumption we can make of all politicians, he promised everything to everyone, and especially to the farm animals, the ones that couldn't afford the glamour, the ones who had to live up on the farm. And when he won, they all came to him and said, "Okay, the bill is due." And so he went to all the basically witches and sorcerers and everything and said, "Okay, you got to do this." And their response was, "No." And he was like, "Why?" He's like, their response was, "Because it's expensive. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. We don't do it, and when we do, we charge a lot because it's hard to do." Mm-hmm. And basically, a lot of people called for Charming's head for doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it costs a lot, like a war in Iraq, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know how many of you guys read the 1001 Nights of Snow, one she did.
It's really good.
That basically told you why King Cole, one of the reasons why he kept getting reelected was because he had a huge following, especially among the farm fables, because of how he helped them survive when his kingdom was attacked by not eating and helping them survive. He almost died helping them survive. So I mean, that's one reason. That's one reason I think that Cole kept getting reelected was, well, it was A, he was the only real kingly leader, but B, he had a lot of popular support.
Or is it that people wanted to stick? He was King Cole, and people were used to living under that system of rule over in Fableland. And when they came over, they really didn't see any reason to change it, you know. So they just kept voting him in because he's basically a king. He's got a king in front of his name. And Prince Charming isn't any.
Yeah, he was the
Prince
only one.
Yeah, you know, Prince Charming even has a royal title in front of his name.
Yeah, but I mean, they were because most of the princes and everything other than really Flycatcher had all died. I mean, the only nobility that you see the entire run of Fables is Cole, Charming, Bluebeard, and that's really it, other than the Arabian Fables. You don't see any of the European Fables at all of it are nobility.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, four. There were four. I forgot about Flycatcher. That was it. Because most of them were warrior princes or what that died. A lot of the European Fables that were nobility are dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. You're right, Juan, that they were used to living under that system because that's what they had, and that's what they had when they first got over here back in the 1500s, 1400s, 1600s. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's why they did keep voting for Cole. They were used to him, and he had some support.
Well, and you can sort of draw comparisons a little bit to the political system, you know, in the real world that usually, and I mean, you know, there are some exceptions, but if you're not a public figure, you know, if you're not someone that's led before, if you're not someone that people are familiar with, you're not going to get any votes. And, you know, who's more familiar than someone like King Cole or Prince Charming that everybody knows? You know, that's the way the Fable system works. The most powerful people are the ones that are in enough stories where they basically can live forever. And that's the same sort of thing that King Cole and Prince Charming had going for them. That you know, they're loved by us enough to survive, just like Jack is. You know, although of course he'll never run for office. You know, God willing. But you know, they have the same sort of thing going for them, that they're popular enough to survive.
But what I think we also have to take into account is that there is a level of complacency in Fabletown, and it was very dangerous. They, just like at March of the Wooden Soldiers, they never expected for the adversary to send soldiers into our world and attack them on our turf. You know, so King Cole
never entirely
prepared.
True.
No, but to the level that they did. You know,
they had people watching the gates.
Yeah, but what happened?
They got overwhelmed. They got overwhelmed by wooden soldiers and killed.
Exactly, because you have to refine your strategy every now and then, and there's a certain level of complacency that I feel Cole had begun to undergo. If they're going to attack, you know, maybe they're going to not use as big a force. We have closed the other gates. So this isn't really a problem. We can leave just a certain amount of people here, and it should be fine.
Yeah, admittedly, we'll never know what their preparations were for the centuries before. I mean, they had been there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never know that. So.
Well, they're fables. They can sort of do that.
Huh?
No, well, I mean, fables can you know, they can stick around for a long time.
Okay, no, I was just saying was that we'll never know what their preparations were, was what I was saying.
Okay, all right, yes, sir. Okay, all right. So rolling over to Raph here, let me get some of your favorite political storylines.
Okay, well, you guys already took a few of them. Fables, obviously, was one of them. Okay, there's, I talked about this on my show when we did the political stuff, the Action Comics Annual #3, where Superman runs for president. Mm-hmm. There is also, on the Marvel end, on the Marvel end, there is Ultimates 2. And there's also, interestingly enough, the first 3 issues of the Grant Morrison JLA run, because I actually bought the hardcover a few weeks ago and I reread it. So it's interesting because it's superheroes in politics, really, because the Hyper Clan comes in and they go to the world, hey, world, we're going to make big changes. We're going to promise you big things. We're going to change the way things are in this world. And Superman sort of represents the old guard and says, hey, listen, we have to sort of, stay the pace here. We have to find out what's going on. And meanwhile, the Hyper Clan, turns the Sahara Desert into a paradise. And they gain popular support around the world. And Superman and the others are on the run. They get they get captured. And then ultimately the Hyper Clan are the bad guys. They take over, the JLA beats them, and at the very end, Superman and the others are in the Sahara Desert, and it's reverted back because HyperClan isn't there to maintain it. And the others are like, well, how involved do we get in this world? And really, that's sort of like foreign policy. How involved do people we as a country get involved in other places? What can we do? What can't we do? What can other people do? I mean, it's really interesting because in real life, superheroes would totally destroy the balance of power. Oh, yeah. If you had someone like Superman around, just standing over your country going, hey, terrorist, you come near us, I'm just going to blow your heads off. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Why don't you guys just go home and go to caves and start writing some novels? Just write some novels with the months. At the beginning and the end. And,
doing that all show, guys. I'm sorry.
So really,
I apologize for my running mate here. I didn't pick him. He was forced
to drop him
by Geeks Unite.
Death to America right now. Death to America.
Anyway, yeah. So that storyline was really good. With the with the Superman one, I mean, he wins the election. He becomes president. I mean, it's great because his solution to the deficit in the budget is to go unearth a couple of ships filled with gold with the help of Aquaman, and that helps Atlantean U.S. relations. And it's like, holy crap, it's great. It's wonderful what they do.
Aquaman was useful.
Yeah, he was. He went along with Superman and said, hey, there's the gold you're looking for. And Superman goes, good, Aquaman.
He talks like a pirate.
Yeah, this is not the gold you're looking for.
This is not the gold you're looking for.
You guys left this here for over 800 years. This is mine. No, I can't let you do that, Arthur. No, come on. Honestly, listen, I got a hook for a hand. Come on, give a guy a break.
Yeah, Chad, with the Aquaman thing, I'll make this one statement. Even lightning strikes once.
Okay,
that's true.
Yeah, come on.
Somewhere in this world, lightning has struck.
He did help Batman get the giant penny out after Cataclysm out of the.
That's true.
Okay.
The only downside of Aquaman is that he can never give himself a stranger.
Wait.
What?
What the? That joke completely went over my head, John.
Wait, he had the bones of his hands, so technically he could give himself an ultra stranger.
But can he give himself? Can he give himself a phantom stranger?
Just sit on the hook for half an hour.
He gets up in the middle of the day. He walks out of your life for 5 years, and then he comes back in. And he goes, "Hey, I'm back. I got the bread." I was like, "That was 5 years ago." He's like,
"Isn't that what your dad did?"
Yeah, sorry. Peter David was writing me. I got distracted.
Oh man!
All right, you got any others, Ref?
Yeah, Ultimates too. So and it's more of a direct political sort of allegory there because literally the Ultimates are the American weapons of mass destruction in that series, and then you got the Captain Britain program, the Captain Italy, and the whole all those other countries getting together to attack us or Marvel Ultimate us, and then the Ultimates fighting back. And to some extent, War Heroes is supposed to be an extension of that. After Ultimates 2, in what would have been Ultimates 3, Miller would have had the U.S. government mass-producing superpowers. So I think those are all really good series dealing directly with the impact of superheroes in the political landscape.
Okay,
Because they're all mavericks.
Yeah, thanks. By the way, Raph, if anyone is a maverick, it's not you.
Oh, no, I'm no maverick.
So
I'm just
Raph
Joe
is saying that
610.
he doesn't brand his cattle. Because that's what maverick means, okay? You don't brand your fucking cattle.
I don't brand my cattle.
You don't have cattle to brand.
I don't have cattle. I shoot
Except
wolves
other
from a
Chinese
helicopter.
people. That's just not cool.
I thought Maverick was
cattle.
I thought Maverick was Jamie Lee Curtis's. Not Jamie Lee Curtis. What's her name? Jodie Foster's like only time she ever actually looked like she enjoyed kissing a man.
Ouch.
Whoa.
I don't.
That's what I like about you, John. You go there.
I don't think the log cabin Republicans are going to like that representation.
Yeah. And now I press the end record button to ensure that the last 46 minutes came out. One moment, button to record the next 46 minutes. Okay. So let me talk about some of my favorites here. Some were already mentioned that I'm going to go into a little farther. Others have not been mentioned that I will go through. First off, and this is one that I'm surprised nobody mentioned, especially Raph, because he's the DC fiend. JLA Earth 2, where we learned what happens when you get rid of the ruling party. Whenever the JLA has gone to Earth 2, whenever they've dealt with, well, I guess now it's Earth 3 or Earth 4, whichever it is now in the multiverse, but originally it was Earth 2 in the first story. Whenever the JLA has taken over in this world where the Justice League is evil, with Ultraman and what is it, Power Woman and like all the other
Superwoman.
Superwoman. Superwoman. There you go, Superwoman and Owlman and Johnny Quick and all these other fiends.
Power Ring.
Whenever they've tried to take over, it hasn't worked because, quite simply, everybody in the world was so used to ruling with an iron fist that they couldn't accept the rule of not even the rule, but a democracy where they actually have choice, because they were bred to believe that they did not have choice. And I think that's
They also stated that was part of the fabric of the universe, though.
Yeah, but that came later on, really.
No, that came up in that series. In the JLA Earth 2, they came up in that series that they couldn't win and they could never triumph there because the fabric of that universe was the antimatter universe. That was core universe.
Wait a minute. This has nothing to do with politics, but Final Crisis connection. So you're saying people in that universe didn't have a choice?
Yeah.
Anti-life justifies my hate.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Morrison wrote that.
Yeah.
And so he did Final Crisis. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Good connection.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. But
Maverick.
Yeah, you just had to throw that in there, didn't you? You just ruined.
It's a drinking game. It's a drinking game. Let's all take shots.
I hope your internet.
I don't think that's very good because I'm already blacking out.
But
here goes my cup.
But John, now was that more of them just believing that because it was the reverse that they could never win, or was it actual a proven fact that everything is the reverse in that universe and they can never succeed?
It was proven that pretty much everything was the reverse because everything they tried to do everything worked against it. Mm-hmm. And the conclusion was the fabric of this universe is the opposite, is we can't win here. Mm-hmm. Just like when the CSA, the Crime Society, came over here, they realized in this one they'll never fully triumph here because the nature of the universe precludes it.
Right. Well, you can certainly draw the political allegory though over something like that. Where you try to remove forcefully any sort of political structure that has been in a nation or in an entire world or society or whatever for years and years and years. If you try to remove it in one fell swoop like that, you're going to receive major opposition. I mean, anybody who's been reading Trinity and read the most recent time when this has come up in I guess what is now Earth 3, where there was rioting all over the world because the CSA wasn't there to control them.
Wait a minute.
Well, just remember, evil will always beat good because good is dumb.
Wait a minute. Wait, how does this preclude to real life? When has anyone ever taken out a government and placed a pup? Oh,
wait a minute. Hold on.
Those Russians.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those damn dirty Russians in Afghanistan.
Somebody say the M word another time. I'm getting sober.
Maverick.
There we go. Oh.
I would like to pronounce that saying Maverick is dead.
Oh, there goes another
I
one.
second that.
I third that.
His parents dying. I'll tell you that. Wow, yeah, it's so bright in this room.
Listen, let me just say something here, okay? Politics.
Are you so
Politics
proud,
is
dude?
like bourbon, okay? It goes down smooth.
No.
Okay, Chris Eastman.
It's like a sombrero, and the edge is like us, and the middle is like other people.
See, this is why it's good to have Juan and Raph on an episode, because I have plenty of material to put in the back. When nothing has to do with anything. Oh my god. But all right, so going off what John said, let me mention a couple of other ones that I enjoyed. Since President Lex was brought up a couple times by other people, but President Lex was superb for a political storyline, because it was the first time that we got to see a situation where Superman couldn't do anything. Because the public voted in Lex Luthor, this tyrant, this evil sumbitch. He got power the one way that Superman can't do anything without anybody looking at him like, you're taking over the world. And that's really what would have been the only other option he would have had. Take over America, or let Lex Luthor's entire time in office run its course, or until he goes batshit crazy due to kryptonite poisoning and, gets himself kicked out. But, he had to let himself fall apart. He had to let Lex Luthor fall apart and not make him fall apart, which was pretty tough.
Now, did he do anything as president that was really major in scope or anything? Because I really wasn't reading Superman at that point.
Well, Raph
he
can
funneled a lot of money.
and other people can probably help me with this. John, go ahead.
I was going to say he funneled a lot of money into battlesuit armor manufacturers.
Yes, he did. He most certainly did. Plus, there were
R&D.
Our Worlds at War is the biggest thing that came out of that, and that was basically, and him trying to get the Brainiac 13 tech.
Okay, I have
That's it. That's the list.
I have a few issues of our word. I can't speak tonight.
I read that.
Yeah. That series.
That's right.
See, I just bought the trade. See, I just went out and bought the, the trade.
Yeah, Chad, you shouldn't actually be doing the playing along with the Maverick thing. Just
I'm not. I just can't speak tonight.
Aw. but yeah, Our Worlds at War. There, I said it for you. Okay.
Too many W's.
Get the Hippolyta.
But he did make a couple people, quote unquote, disappear. I remember. There were a couple of political oppositions that all of a sudden you didn't see anymore in the comics. And golly gee whiz, I wonder why. Also, Pete Ross was his vice president, so that was pretty huge.
So we had a black man as vice president?
No. The original Pete Ross.
Not this sham
Yeah, not the Smallville Pete Ross.
who's on a bad show as Jump Start.
Yes, but
Now, wasn't Black Lightning like the education secretary or something?
Yes, he was.
Know how well our kids are educated.
Yeah, he really did a good job, right? But that helped him out though, because now he's still playing off those political connections in Justice League today.
Right, I remember that from the Justice League. Yeah.
Right. So even if he didn't do any major things like a Superhero Registration Act or something like that, at least he did make himself known and people remember him. At least they haven't wiped that from the records. Speaking of Superhero Registration Acts. Segue. That would definitely be one of my favorite storylines, the whole Civil War thing and the Registration Act being enacted, because that was Marvel Comics drawing a line. Where are we going to go with our superheroes? Are we going to keep them a little more fantasy, where superheroes are going to be able to have free reign and do whatever the hell they want in life, and politics isn't really going to play that much into it? Or are we going to make it more real, where in a society today, I guarantee you, and Raph, you can certainly say yes or no to this.
Yes or no to this?
Thank you. In a society today, am I right or not right, where if there were superheroes in the United States right now, there would be a Registration Act?
Oh yeah, totally. Hey, if they can monitor phone sex calls in Iraq, they're gonna monitor our superheroes. Come on.
Exactly. And I think
They're monitoring me and Belinda?
Yeah, they are. Wait, no, you're not in a military base. You're okay.
Yeah.
But is she on a military base?
Ignore that comment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Juan,
wait.
Juan, you need a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
I totally forgot
I
to
am
mention.
talking to my girlfriend. She just cost me $3.95 a minute.
Juan's girlfriend's a
You know
hooker.
Oh.
She's not a hooker. She works at McDonald's.
I think I made a big mistake here.
You know, Juan, you can't count Raph. He is soft, but he is kind of soft, but he doesn't count.
No,
Although he does like bush details.
I've never touched Raph. At least not in that way.
Good.
And now I'm sober.
Good.
That's not what he was saying all during Super Show.
Oh man.
I have given up drinking, and I apologize to my family and to my friends for touching Raph.
Well, okay.
thank-
Now that you're sober, Juan, I can ask you the same thing that I just asked Raph. Yes or no, that if there were superheroes in our world right now, there would be a registration act.
You wouldn't know they would be here.
You wouldn't know that they would
You
be
would-
here?
Be here because the government will suck them up like crazy glue on a paper bag. Honestly, think about it. They're getting high off it. Well, if you would have superheroes, wouldn't you use them as your special forces? And would you really tell people that you have superheroes? You give people enough money, and they won't talk. But if they were public domain, if someone tried to be the moral shining beacon, they would be quickly stopped or quashed. But if they do manage to proliferate, of course there would be a registration act.
Right.
But you have to go through the other scenarios first. If the government could create it, or if they could control it, they probably would.
So yeah. So that's a yes. That's pretty much a yes right there. That's Juan's way of saying yes. So I'm gonna just move on from there. That definitely is more the real way of going things versus DC's whole we're superheroes. Things are better now. Yeah, about that property damage. I didn't do it.
But your insurance rates will stay the same.
Okay, Metropolis's insurance rates, Chad, they got to be through the roof, man.
They
They're
must.
just as much as Gotham's.
Well, okay, Gotham's is pretty bad too, but Gotham doesn't have the guy in tights running around to crash into buildings.
No.
Or
No,
people being
you're
thrown
wrong.
through buildings, or
Gotham
Or giant
is
robots
great.
showing up and crushing people.
Superman
or
helps
giant-
rebuild every time there's something, though. Remember that. He rebuilds that shit.
No, he doesn't.
Listen,
Is he a licensed contractor?
He might as well be.
is
Gotham,
he
know what?
union?
low
He doesn't
premium.
even have a plumbing
Superman-
license.
He's Superman the plumber.
Listen, Gotham has very low premiums. Batman goes to each insurance agent and goes, "Swear to me you'll give us good rates."
And there he goes.
My parents are dead. Please do it.
You know, let me say, because at least that's like one word, not just like entire diatribe.
When we're done with this recording here, you all need to go to NewYorkTimes.com and read about how Joe the Plumber isn't actually
He's not a plumber.
He's not a plumber. John the Plumber is not a licensed plumber, and his name isn't even John.
No,
Joe
it's
the-
Samuel Joseph. Samuel Joseph Wurzbaker, or whatever the
Oh,
fuck
okay,
his name.
Samuel Joseph. All right, so it's
He's also a registered. Yeah, he's also a registered Republican who, and that business that he's talking about buying is only worth about annual income's about $100,000.
He only makes $40,000. He has a lien against his house.
Yes.
Don't ask me how I know that. I cannot divulge my information or my informants.
So
Innocent.
anyway,
Lois,
Lois.
with the exclusive.
Louis, Mom, Mama, Mom, Mommy,
What is it?
stop being so cruel.
You know, I don't know if you guys heard.
That's silence right there. That's what we're hearing. That's called dead
This
air.
podcast
If
really
radio finishes like-
Bird is the word. Bird is the word.
I was waiting for something profound.
Back up on your ass with the resurrection.
Are we not
Okay,
doing the talent portion?
Raph, you just caused this podcast to be ruined.
Ruined.
Yeah, hey, what do you,
You know what
find in
make you feel
Greece?
better?
Cool
Go get
Whip.
some straw
Cool
grapes and
Whip.
Cool
Cool
Whip.
Whip.
Cool Whip.
Hey, Chad, what do you find in Greece?
What?
What do you find in Greece?
What do I find in
Ruin.
Greece? I don't know.
Ruins? Ruins?
Ruins.
Ruins?
You're eating hair.
Everybody does it. Ah!
So moving on.
Get on.
So some of the
How about
other, some of the other storylines that I've enjoyed, Ex Machina, which isn't a storyline, it's more like a series. No, Ex Machina, not Ex Machina. Jesus.
That's the X-Men.
Yes, Ex Machina. Well, come on, you got a superhero mayor of New York City who might be running for president at some point. I kind of explains itself right there. Political climate. Hey, you're awesome. You saved one of the towers from going kablooey. Yay! Hooray, life. So that's why he is where he is, and that's why he was an independent and managed to actually get an office in New York, which barely ever happens, unless you're like a congressman. Some of the other things that I enjoy, The Boys, with Vaught American, and the whole one company trying to rule the world, which
Precious.
Wait, what?
Precious.
Yeah. Okay.
Precious.
Yeah, thank you. That's Company, not One Ring.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's so like 5 years ago or something.
I know, right?
Ring of companies.
I mean, why don't you just say swing?
Why don't I just make a Harold Kumar reference while I'm at it too? Actually, no,
This cheetah's the best cheetah ever.
Anyway.
Whatever, Tiger.
So yeah, I like The Boys.
Dude, it's so sweet.
I'll let him finish.
So I like
been
The
trying to-
Boys, and it's a very fun comic book. Stuff happens in it that are political, and it's very fun and enjoyable. Hooray, life!
That whole comic is
You just
political.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it never,
Well, and it's as much parody as it is like straight relation to what the world actually is. Like John, what is it more to you? Is it parody or is it more like our world than you might even realize?
satire is more what it is than parody.
Satire, okay. So more political satire, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically saying, hey, look, superheroes, they're the new weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, is that it's basically superheroes versus the regular people.
So we actually managed to answer this question, so I think we're going to move on from here. And, well, here's a question that sort of relates into that a little bit. And I know that, like, some of us sort of answered it a little bit with this question, but let me move on to the next one. Straight up, how political do you like your comic books? And God help me, I'm starting with Raph here.
Well, okay.
No!
I like my comics to have a certain sense of realism, and politics is a part of that, but I don't want it hyper-realistic because you need to get away from reality. So I like Civil War, and I like that they incorporate it, but if they had, like, issues of Avengers Initiative where you saw the court cases with heroes appealing against being arrested because they were violating the Superhero Registration Act, I would, like, go to Joe Quesada and shoot him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what they're doing is fine. Keep it in there, keep it in the background, but not so much in the background where I'm, like, brainwashed into voting for Colbert for real.
Okay.
That's something I don't want to do.
Yeah, you sure?
Because then I'll look stupid. I mean, I do want to vote for Colbert.
Only if he's
Right.
running. Yeah.
He's not running. Yeah, I would vote for him, though.
Right.
Because he's a maverick.
Yes, as we've learned 700 times.
Also, I neglected to mention this before, but the whole Captain America storyline with the death of Cap, I mean, the whole plot by the Red Skull to take over the election by introducing a candidate that was in his favor, and also spreading the paranoia and fear of having a subprime mortgage crisis a year before it started, was amazing on Brubaker's part. And bravo to him for being so visionary to brought that up a year before it happened. So he predicted the financial crisis that we're having right now. Good job, Ed. But anyway,
Maybe he had an insider.
Yeah, exactly. But that's about as close to reality as you can get, except for the fact that Iron Man's there and you have the helicarrier and all the superpowers. That 18 issue, was it 18? Like 12 to 18 issue storyline really just incorporated a lot of realism in it. But do I want all my books like that? No, I wouldn't be able to. I just would blow my brains out. There are certain books that can pull off, but there are certain books you can't. So like Green Lantern, you can never pull that off because he's off in space half the time.
Right.
So yeah, I do like politics in comics, just in controlled doses.
Yeah. Chad, I know that you're not really like a Marvel person, but if I were to recommend one series for you to be reading or at least catching up on, it would be Captain America. Because ever since Brubaker came onto the series, it's been amazing. So if you ever have the like the money on the side to veer off from your straight DC reading.
Well, I do buy Marvel, but it's the Stephen King stuff. So
that doesn't count. For God's sakes, man, that's like saying. I don't really follow baseball, but I have a Yankee shirt.
You should burn it then.
Or it means, that's saying like you're a DC reader, but you only read DC Decisions.
Yes, we'll be getting there.
I would shoot myself.
We'll be getting there. We'll certainly be getting there. Not you shooting yourself, but we'll be getting there otherwise. Now that Raph's done talking, Chad, how political do you like your comics?
Well, it depends on what I'm picking up. If I'm picking up Checkmate, then if it's not written by Bruce Jones, then I expect a high level of political interaction in the comics. But if I'm picking up, let's say I'm picking up Batman, it can be like a B or C plot as long as it doesn't interfere with the story. I mean, if eventually it becomes an A plot, then that's fine. But other than that, if it's playing in the background, then don't mind it in my regular readings.
So you want it to remain in the background for the most part.
Well, for the most part, but if it's an integral part to the story, then it can come to the front. Like I was trying to think of something like an example, and the best I could come up with was during No Man's Land and Batman. I mean, when the Congress or basically said screw Gotham City, and then near the end of the story when it was like Mr. Wayne goes to Washington. So I mean that was a integral part of the story. So I didn't mind that they took the story there, but if it's as little as possible, as long as it doesn't interfere with the main story.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. Now I'm imagining Bruce Wayne with a Jimmy Stewart accent.
What do you mean I can't wear this cowl?
Well, I can't go to Washington. I'm Batman.
It's like that. It's like the episode of The Simpsons where they remake.
I fight crime
Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
Oh God. Yes, yes, with guns, lots and lots of guns. And Mel Gibson.
God, that's America.
But okay, so what you're saying here is that you're okay with it being maybe there for like one storyline, but you don't want it to be there for more than that. Is that what I'm getting here? Like for specifically for a book that isn't really political, but then all of a sudden is.
Right.
Okay. All right. So that's where you're driving that. So like, say for example, and again, I hate bringing up Marvel examples when you don't really read that much Marvel, but right now in the X-Men comics, specifically with Uncanny X-Men, the X-Men have gained sort of an asylum in San Francisco, and they were granted this by the mayor of San Francisco. So they're now almost like a police force for San Francisco. And they've been granted this permission from the cops and from the mayor and stuff like that. But that's as far as you would want it to go.
For the time being, and if eventually if the story warranted to bring it to the forefront, then as long as it's not heavy-handed and beating me over the head.
Yeah, because that would hurt.
Yes.
As we've all learned, that would hurt. Okay.
Lumps.
All right, so we've heard from Chad, we've heard from Raph, and now before we head over to John, just want to let you guys know that in between the last time you heard him and now, he has switched over to his phone thanks to the god awful bastards at Comcast who need to die in a blazing hellfire of fury and crap-tastic bastards.
Oh, we don't need that. What
really?
we need is honest politics in comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raph, can you take your teeny weeny Asian penis off your keyboard, because it seems like you're typing something and it's just going for the last 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The little type icon's been going on you for. There we go.
Oh, no. I haven't been typing. I've been moving my mouse around. And it is a euphemism. It is, masturbating, yeah.
So, John.
Okay, I don't need that picture.
Now that we've actually been totally grossed out, and we'll never get that image out of our heads.
Well, you did
I think I just started drinking again.
See, we're causing alcoholics here with this. John, how political do you like your comics?
Not very. Basically, it depends on how true it is to the character and the situation. I mean, you got to have Green Arrow he's got to be more lefty. Hogman has to be more to the right. Certain characters are certain ways, and the politics that they have when it pops in has to be true to them. Yeah. You also, as I mentioned earlier, you really can't bring in a lot of current day politics in depth into comics. If you do, you really have to lean over the top if you want them to be successful. Otherwise, you will have things, as previously mentioned, with Alex Ross bludgeoning people over the head. You will have just people not giving a crap. About it. As I said, you can't have Captain America terrorist fighter in today's day and age because people won't buy it because a lot of readers just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, as we proved, even if the art is pretty, even if you got John Cassaday on art, if it's a storyline nobody wants, then it's not going to happen. And that's the sort of Captain America that we had never really had in comic books before. And somebody's bright idea was, hey, he's a soldier. Let's put him over in Iraq and have him fight Osama.
Well, it sounds like they were trying to harken back to
I'll point out Iraq. Hey, you're wrong. Osama was never in Iraq, and Saddam hated him.
Yes, I understand that. I'm talking from the point of view of the person who was probably writing that comic book. I'm smart enough to know.
All right,
that.
George Bush.
Yeah.
All right, George Bush.
Yeah. Well, what were you going to say, Chad?
I was just going to say that with that storyline, they were probably trying to harken back to the World War II era where they had every superhero punching out a Nazi or a Jap.
But times have changed. And
yes, and you really can't do that and be politically correct.
Right, but that's the question. What is politically correct? Because that seems to change from day to day. John, what is currently politically correct? I mean, what can you do in a comic book politically, and what can't you do in a comic book politically at this point?
It depends on the publisher.
Okay, so
if you're non-DC Marvel, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, and even within DC, even within DC in the Wildstorm universe, you can get away with stuff you can't within DC. Well, with some exceptions, I'm not going to mention any names of the boys, but take the whole. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, there are certain things you cannot get away with. I mean, let's be honest. You're not going to have George Bush pop up in the Ultimates and then just be made fun of. Oh, right, they did that with Magneto.
Right.
But you're not going to have him shot.
Well, wasn't that one of your favorite moments of the Ultimates, John?
Once I read it like about 3 years after it came out, I was like, that's kind of funny. Okay, it's the Ultimates.
George Bush, spread eagle out on the lawn from sea.
It's not the first time
Now
I'm sure that's
I
happened
really
to
am going to drink.
Well, if you remember Skull and Bones, I'm sure it's not the first time that kind of thing has happened to him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so your political views for comic books are sort of along the lines of Chad, like storyline to storyline, but don't do it all the time.
Pretty much.
Okay, cool. Let's roll it over to Juan.
Like I said, politics, no matter how minuscule, is always involved in comics. And what people consider politics is not just a presidential election or an overt election, but it's just the way that business is done. Whether Gotham City's commissioner turns a blind eye and the mayor allows it, or if you have the mayor of San Francisco going ahead and allowing a group of people to take residence in her city. No matter how minuscule the act may be, everything that a superhero does, especially with our favorite superheroes in DC and Marvel, is political. Someone does get hurt, police are called into action, laws are enacted, laws are changed, whether you see it or not. Every action has to have a consequence. It's just that we don't see it. And what we're going to see now, especially with Secret Invasion, is an overthrow. You know, they're overthrowing our political systems. Mm-hmm. Yet they say everything's going to remain the same. Yeah, right. You have to embrace the change. What they're really saying is,
he loves you.
We just handed you your ass, so now you're going to get a lesson in humble pie. You know, it's a form of class warfare. So politics has to be always present in every single comic book that you read, whether you see it or not.
But, okay, that's all well and good, Juan, but how political do you like your comics? I mean, are you saying that you enjoy politics being in everything? Or, I mean, where do you draw a line?
The problem is that, like I said, I enjoy the stories that are written, but what we don't notice is that it's there, and we just don't think it's there. But if you have to quantify it, I have to just go ahead and say a moderate amount. You know, you have to not just have it hammer you over the head. You have to respect the intelligence of the person and just put it out there and see if they pick up on it. So moderate is good.
Okay. My take on it would be sort of along the lines of everybody else, but I can go like 5 or 6 storylines political. That's all well and good. As long as it's in character for the characters of that book. Like, I don't want to all of a sudden see Jaime Reyes be all Republican. You know, I mean, I know what's going on in his book right now with the whole illegal aliens thing and the corrupt politician in his neck of the woods wanting him to choose sides, you know, whether or not he wants to stand up for Mexicans who are trying to come over or whether or not he wants to side with New Mexico and, say, America is for Americans and all that crap.
Yeah.
Isn't part of him an illegal alien?
Good point. That's a good point.
That is a good point. He is part illegal alien, technically. But he's a citizen of the United States.
He's an American citizen. Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's an American citizen, at least. But going along those lines...
I was referring to the... Yeah, you know.
Yeah, no, I know. You were referring to the alien part of him. I get you were trying to make a funny...
I thought it was good.
Worked.
Everyone else that listens to this will think it's good. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not funny. Stop laughing at me. Stop it.
No, but
leave John alone.
Ian, could I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you mean? Okay, this is where I think people didn't understand my point. You mean politics like election or politics like everyday life politics? Because they are both the same and different at the same time.
Right. I mean, they do go hand in hand, but...
look. When Batman and Guy Gardner have this agreement, and they're all part of the Justice League, they're all sitting at the table, someone has to moderate that. That's a form of political discussion. Whether it's political views, that's something else. Mm-hmm. But how a team works, who leads, that's all politics.
Right. I'm talking more about... election politics and even where your stance is in politics, that sort of thing, like Republican, Democrat, Independent, Conservative, Liberal, that sort of thing. Unless I'm the leader, no, you're not. I'm the leader, no, you're not. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Okay, but like I was just mentioning, Jaime Reyes has presented himself as somewhat of a liberal person up until now. If all of a sudden he were to say straight up in a comic book, no, illegal aliens, bad in every way, shape, or form, it doesn't matter, that goes against his character. So I want to see consistency. I know that they're going to be bringing up politics in the next couple of arcs because they've been getting there. I just want to see Jaime acting like himself while they're bringing it up. And just like what that happens in anything, like when Manhunter, when politics come up in Manhunter, that happens. Hell, even Suicide Squad. I mean, I want to see each Suicide Squad member act like themselves, and not all of a sudden be, oh, well, I'm an extreme liberal when they weren't, like 5 days ago. So that's where I am. That makes sense, Juan?
Yeah, it does. Excuse me. Political stances exist within the basis of the character, whether it's said or not. Mm-hmm. We all know Superman is most likely a Republican.
Okay.
Just by the way he is, his values, where he grew up. We all know Batman is probably Democratic, even though he is a neo-fascist, in certain ways. Mm-hmm. We have to understand that the characters ingrained within them have a certain political doctrine that allows them to act and react in certain ways. Batman will never kill. Manhunter will kill if necessary. Certain things play into how the character reacts. Mm-hmm. So, therefore, a political stance is always present.
Well, see, it's funny you should mention that because I know people, and I mean, I've thought at times sort of the complete opposite of what you just stated right there with Superman and Batman.
I don't. Okay, but
where Superman would be the Democrat and Batman would be the Republican. I've seen other times where it's the reverse, but anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, what people have to understand, if people don't, that's the great thing about comics, you draw your interpretation of what their political stance is.
Right.
But that comes from, like you said, the type of person they are. And you brought up this great point where you said, if Bane, right, let's say if he was still on Suicide Squad, right, and Bane is this, you know, he's a murderous person, and he comes out, he's like, oh, I'm pro-life.
Right.
Whoa. No, you know, you just broke a guy in half.
Yeah, right.
You broke a guy in half, pro-life. And you're pro-life? Yeah. And you're a conservative?
Most pro-life guys,
no.
hey.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Guys most pro-life guys are...
Yeah.
John, yeah. What were you going to say, John? Come on.
Most pro-lifers are pro-death penalty, so
I know, but not literally cracking a guy in half, you know what I mean, with your bare hands. And you're a drug dealer.
Depends on who you ask, John.
Yeah, but regardless, like Ian said, you have to draw your own conclusions, and that's where if it's overt or not, we have to consider that it is there.
Well, actually, I sort of want to, like, real quickly here poll the entire audience about where you think Superman and Batman stand right now in comics. Like, if you were just off the top of your head, you know, don't let either of our opinions cloud you right here. Chad, where would you place Superman? Where would you place Batman? Republican or Democrat?
I don't know. Batman is kind of hard for me to place because, you know, he'd be for gun control, but, you know, he also is, you know, very wealthy. So,
but what he does with his wealth is what's important.
Sure. So I would probably put him as a Democrat. And Superman, is he even allowed to vote being an alien?
Okay, they actually discussed this. He's actually allowed to vote.
He is? Okay.
Because Clark Kent was... Okay, first of all, Clark Kent was technically born... No one knows he's Superman, so he's human. But Superman, once the birthing matrix...
So he's committing voter fraud, right?
That is direct voter registration and voter fraud.
Well, no, because when the Kryptonian matrix opened to let Superman out of the thing when it landed...
That's not how it works, Raph.
That's the explanation.
That's not how it works. Raph, if people told you that's how babies are born, they lied to you.
Well, no, listen,
mommy, where do I come from? Well, you see, one day your birthing matrix came down from the planet Krypton.
He's not human, though. He was. People don't have sex on Krypton. They take your sperm and they take the woman's egg. They put it in the birthing matrix, and then
he is a citizen of a planet that is in a distant galaxy, and he was rocketed to Earth.
This planet is dead.
Listen, it's like Americans.
Okay,
you're dead. Okay, wait. Hold on. Is he or is he not a U.S. citizen?
He technically is.
He forged his U.S. citizenship.
Juan. Is he or is he not? I don't care about, you know, right now about the forging or anything. Is he or is he not a U.S. citizen? Yes or no?
Legally, he is not a U.S. citizen.
He is not, according to you?
Legally, he is not.
Legally, he's not. Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't disclose both parts of himself?
Yes.
Okay.
That's true.
Because if you try to trace back where this kid came from, you can't find him. Mm-hmm. And all the documents will begin to become transparent, and it won't hold up.
Okay. All right, but you know, getting rid of that whole debate there for a minute, Chad. Where do you think he stands? Just let's just go with that. We're assuming that at this point in time, Superman can vote.
He can vote.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
I'd put him center left.
Center left, so Democrat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, John.
Center left for Superman, center right for Batman, but both would be more Democratic than Republican.
Okay. All right. So you would see them both voting for Obama in this election.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Juan, again, take out of the equation Superman technically not being allowed to be, voting and all that. Let's take that out of the equation for now.
Superman is a red meat and potatoes type of guy. He is a Republican. He wraps himself in. He's a Republican. He wraps himself in the flag. He's got the eagle. He's got the symbolism that has become paramount in the Republican Party. And Batman believes in social reform issues, gun control. He provides free clinics and he provides money to people that need it, like handing that bum a wad of cash.
All about Methodists?
They're nice people. They're down the street.
That's not what he asked you, Juan.
They have a hospital here.
Yeah. Do you know about how Methodists are?
No.
Okay, John.
I know they're down the street. What's
John,
up?
Explain Methodist life.
I think it's more of a live and let live philosophy than anything else. It's more of an individual interpretation of stuff. If my remembrance of what my grandmother told me, because she was a Methodist and everything I can remember, so I don't see him being that kind of guy, because I think if he wouldn't trust a lot of the Republicans' hate speech and dislike of other people's.
Well, I will agree with you on that. You also have to believe the state that he comes from. Kansas is a traditionally Republican state. Has been for over 45 years.
But Jonathan and Martha are also, small town, everything, but it's also they're also very progressive. So yes, the state itself may be conservative, but I don't think Jonathan and Martha will ever, and Superman himself, think that we shouldn't teach evolution and the Earth is only 5,000 years old. I think that they've taught their kid enough that although I may be dead, Jonathan Kent, I've taught you enough to think for people and help people, because remember, that's what Superman's biggest goal is to help people. It's not
that doesn't mean you could be a Republican and not help people. They're good Republican people all around, man.
Republicans don't help poor people.
You could be a Republican and help.
Yeah, McCain himself has said he doesn't believe in spread the wealth.
But does he believe in spread the love?
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't, because he's against gay marriage.
No, but McCain will answer the call to his country just like Superman will. When your country calls upon you, Superman will be there.
Okay.
But that doesn't automatically make you a Republican.
It doesn't, but it makes you a good person, no matter your political view.
All right, well, Raph. Batman and Superman for you, Raph.
All right, I guess as the definitive Superman fan out of the five of us, I like to consider him. Okay, I said this in my own show. I said he's above politics because he's a symbol. He can't be picking favorites.
You got to pick a side.
Okay, yeah, but aside from that,
get off the fence.
Yeah, no. I'm going to do that.
Off the fence, man. Head first.
Shit or get off the pot.
I'm waiting for someone actually to shit.
Oh my lord.
Okay. I don't want to make him Republican simply because he doesn't necessarily believe in big government.
Stop idolizing and pick a side.
I would say he's more Democratic. He's more middle left.
Thank you.
He can't vilify Superman.
And Batman is Batman.
And Batman
he has no side.
And Batman
he has his own. He's like some odd left-wing fascist nutcase super order guy,
which
somehow makes him like left wing, but still very, very conservative at the same time, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Can you just say he's going to vote for Nader and get it over with?
Yeah, he's going to vote for Nader.
Thank you.
He's going to pump billions into Nader. Nader's going to win, and then we're going to get a police state, which would be awesome.
Colbert 08.
Yeah, Colbert. I'm voting Colbert.
Raph, slap yourself.
Building off of what I was just talking about with the whole Batman-Superman thing, let's talk about political comic books. We'll talk about the McCain-Obama stuff and DC decisions all right here. We'll get that all out on the table. For those who did read them, for those who didn't, we can ask questions to those who did. What did you guys think of the Obama-McCain one-shots? And did these reach any sort of audience that wouldn't otherwise be attainable for either of these individuals? And is there a market for straight political comics? after reading these? Now, I know Chad and John both picked up the McCain and Obama stuff and DC Decisions. Juan and Raph, did you pick up any of those?
No, but I can tell you numbers-wise how they did at Midtown.
Good. So we'll turn to you for that. But Juan, did you pick up any?
I did. I picked up actually all three, and I found it enlightening to find out a little bit more about these people. Okay. I thought they weren't reaching a new audience, though.
Okay. All right. So you know what? I'll ask you that first. Okay. So you don't. Again, build off of what you just said. Why do you think they weren't reaching a new audience?
Because if you look at the target audience of people who are buying comic books, regardless, right? They're the same audience who have already most likely picked a side. So they would most likely go for the candidate that they prefer. Regardless of that fact, they both treated the material in a respectful way and provided an insight into these men. And I think that's important because some people, frankly, don't know who Barack Obama is, and other people don't know the entire history of what John McCain represents and what he went through. And when you read this, you get to understand a little bit more about why they are the way they are. You don't understand their thinking, but you may get a little bit of a window into who they are. Now, as for Decisions, Judd, take a vacation.
This wasn't just Judd, though. This was Willingham.
Well, everyone take a vacation.
It's both of them.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't that good?
No, it was not good. And we spoke about it on Geeks Unite, and Raph could attest to it. It had its heart in the right place, but it failed to perform up to any form of expectation. Trust me, I had none walking into it. Because when, like Raph said, these characters are a little bit beyond the politics while being in the thick of it. So you have to walk that little line, and DC is trying to walk it so gingerly that they don't really, take a stab. Of course Green Arrow is going to endorse the liberal or the Democrat because that's who Green Arrow is. I'm not surprised.
Right.
Give me someone that would surprise me. Who would Black Lightning endorse and blah, blah, blah. Give me something that would surprise me, not more of the same. And that's exactly what I got.
Can you give a quick summary of DC Decisions for those who didn't pick it up?
Well, they're trying to kill these candidates on both sides. So the JLA has decided to remain neutral and try to protect these people. Yet, Green Arrow gets in a huff because he may be assigned to this guy, and he feels that he shouldn't have to protect him since he disagrees with him. Again, he's not rising above the situation like we know Green Arrow would, or any of our traditional heroes would. So they're acting out of character slightly.
Okay.
You have Hal, who is a protector of the status quo, only merely saying, "Oh, Ollie, don't do this," and Wonder Woman going, "Good for you, Ollie," because she's the warrior. And in the end, you don't really go anywhere because they're still trying to kill these people. And I still don't feel empathetic towards Oliver Queen or anybody else who's represented in the book. So save yourself the $3.
Okay.
Or how much it costs.
And do you feel that there's a market for straight political comic books?
If it's done in a bipartisan and completely factual way, there may be a way for us to teach the history of politics. But I don't know about straight political politics where people present a platform. I don't think that would be viable.
Okay. All right. Then let's go to Chad here and your thoughts on McCain and Obama comics and DC Decisions and whether there's a market for political comics. And obviously you can throw in the whether or not this reached any sort of audience that wouldn't have been reached otherwise, although I think everybody's answer is probably going to be, what the hell are you talking about? Nobody is going to pick this up and say, I believe that I have chosen my decision. But right, exactly. But Chad, go ahead.
First off, do you know if the government monitors this podcast?
They do, but they don't care.
Because I don't want to be, blacklisted or anything.
We're not having
like
phone sex, so it's not interesting to them.
Well, just kind of a little background to where I'm coming from with these books is basically for the past 13 years I was a hack and apologist for the Republican Party. And over the past year or so, I've come to the conclusion that all politicians from both parties are merely self-serving, uninspiring clods who waste both the taxpayers' time and money to pursue their selfish ends.
I'm Ralph Nader, and I support this message.
Right. But I think
Ralph Nader for 2 years?
I think that's due to a large part of being beat over the head with it, and when I was in school, because political science was my major.
Gotcha.
But as to the John McCain and Barack Obama comics, first off, they needed a warning that says do not operate heavy machinery while reading these comics.
So they were that boring, huh?
Well, they weren't boring. They were just like really wordy, and a lot. And I also learned that not to get in a plane with John McCain
because he'll crash it.
Because he might crash it. Yes,
he crashed every plane he was in.
and after reading the John McCain book, he now reminds me of a huge angry beaver. And I can imagine myself sitting in a log cabin and looking out the window and seeing him sitting there on my lawn, just waiting while he scowls and licks his lips.
Wait.
And chews out a piece of bark.
So I'm sitting there in my log cabin, and I know I need to go to work, but I'm afraid that when I leave the house, it's going to be gone and floating down the river, thanks to John McCain. So,
and you know who said that? That one, Raph.
Yeah, I did.
So, and let's see.
What about the Obama stuff?
The Obama stuff? Well, since he's he's basically the new kid on the block, and it really showed his, in my opinion, his inexperience he has with politics on the national level, and he kind of reminds me of E.T., one of my favorite, movies. Mm-hmm. He's lovable, that's for sure, and he's a, great orator and all that. But like E.T., I'll never forgive him for making me cry uncontrollably as a kid when I thought he was dead.
Wait, so Barack die?
Well, this was more during the primary when he was
Oh, when he was fighting out with Hillary, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard, going back to when I thought he might be dead. It's kind of hard to enjoy a movie when your head is puffed up like Ted Kennedy after an all-night kegger.
We pray for the memory of Ted Kennedy. We hope him a speedy recovery.
Amen.
As to if there's a market for books like these, I don't think so. Like, I know there's the Hillary Clinton one coming out in January.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that it's coming out long after the election.
Yeah. Hopefully they run the correct cover with it.
With the
getting
right
the four
stars and
only in a country, United States, that has a flag with 14 stripes could Hillary Clinton be the president.
That 14 stripe is for freedom.
I'll take your word on that one.
Leave off the last S for savings.
Did you want to join a black resistance party during the Vietnam War after reading the Obama special?
Like retroactively go back in time and do it.
Of course you can. We fucking do it all the time.
Okay, what about DC decisions?
Train wreck.
There's just no way nice about that one, is it?
I mean, it's like they're trying too hard. I mean, sure, Green Arrow is in character. The only thing that rang true for me in issue 2 was the Green Arrow, Green Lantern fight. But I really don't care about the presidential candidates. And then you have, in book 2 where you have all the other heroes going, I support so-and-so, or I support so-and-so. I really don't care.
Here's my question about the DC universe. How often do elections happen in the DC universe? Okay, because Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters had a new president in office like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but he was dead. He wasn't real.
Yeah, but he still got voted in. Meaning
Yeah,
that
but
there
you
was
have
an
to
election.
have to have a new election to replace him.
Okay,
That's on Earth 10.
gotcha.
I'll point out something later when you guys get to me about the DC president.
But
So,
I mean, the Obama and the McCain, I think they would be good for somebody who doesn't know, much about the candidates. I don't think they're, reaching a new audience. I'm still, I really would really like a Joe Sixpack comic so I can find out about him. I mean, he's all over the news these days.
well, don't
and I
you
was-
know he's a special guy?
I was also kind of disappointed they didn't have the Ralph Nader trade paperback.
Oh man, I would pay American money to buy that thing.
As opposed to Zimbabwe money.
Exactly.
And what I'm waiting for is the comic where Sarah Palin fights vampires.
From a helicopter with an M16.
As long as on the cover she's in a bikini and it's holding a gun, I would buy it.
And a word balloon
betcha.
screams Maverick.
Maverick.
The,
Vampires.
Just a bunch of outsiders.
All right, John, please stop the insanity.
Well, all I can say is that Ralph Nader trade paper would be unsafe at any price.
Boo.
And it even comes slightly lopsided, like his face. I went there.
You totally went there.
Yeah, I did.
Uh,
And I'm unapologetic about it.
Juan, can I just express my affection for you right now? I'm feeling bubbly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know you're gay.
John, what'd you think of those comics and the DC and the lady?
Nice
Big
lady.
decisions. Biggest waste of money since. Yeah. It's been a long time. It's been a while.
It's the
Oh,
biggest waste of money
I know.
since.
It's biggest-
Yeah, exactly.
Millennium. Biggest waste of money since Millennium.
Ouch.
Hey,
I
just
thought you were
feel
going to
like-
say since Countdown.
Oh.
No.
ooh,
Millennium. Millennium's worse than Countdown could hope to be.
I can't believe they had to kill a tree to print decisions.
No, it's okay. It's on
Yeah.
recycled paper.
Oh,
But
I
you
can't
know,
believe
as
they
I-
had to recycle paper to print decisions.
That's okay. It
Because
was
that's-
printed on human flesh.
Then I don't mind.
Okay.
Was it Chinese
So it's,
human flesh?
so it's a Warren Ellis book.
It's funny because he does that.
All right, but okay. So we know how you feel about DC decisions. So what about Mokama and O'Kane or whatever? Obama and McCain. There you go.
IDW cost himself a ton of money because they should have made their print run on this around $300,000 a piece, gotten them out in time for the conventions, and just gone to the conventions and sold them there. And they could have sold a ton of them to the nut job wackos who go to both the Democratic and the Republican conventions. They could have sold a ton of them.
Agree or disagree out there, folks?
Agree.
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 Yeah.
We're like that Nextel commercial with the firemen. Say aye.
But you know what? That doesn't mean that the books weren't. Yeah. They were as bad as Countdown.
Wow. Holy crap. I mean, you didn't learn anything at all from him?
Oh, I'm a former activist in the Democratic side, so it's kind of hard for me to learn anything new. So you could learn a little bit, especially about the background of McCain, if you're a Democrat and Biden, especially vice versa. But let's be honest, the people who bought this were the people that aren't that many people.
Well, I'm waiting for the limited edition Joe Biden on cardstock.
What about Sarah Palin with the
Is there going to be anything in between it?
With his many gaffes.
Yeah, no, John brings up a
Sir-
good question. Is there going to be anything in between there, or is it just going to be the cover?
It's probably going to be him plagiarizing the speech of a British politician during the same year. In fact, in the same month, probably in the same week.
Okay.
And then get caught.
Wait a second. Before we even mention that, what about McCain's quote-unquote new speech? Did you guys watch The Daily Show a couple days ago?
No.
They compared his quote-unquote new speech to the speech he spoke at the Republican convention, word for word.
Nice.
And that was his quote-unquote new speech.
Wait, did any of you guys see the clip where Tim Russert toned John McCain?
No.
Oh, I gotta find that for you guys.
Did you guys see when Obama stunned McCain?
Yeah.
Zero.
Oh,
It's like, what?
Juan,
No.
do me a favor, though, and look for it afterwards, because we don't need any degradation of the internet quality.
Don't worry about it.
All right. But anyway, John, just asking you the one other part of it. Do you feel that there's any sort of market at all for straight political comics?
Not only no, but hell no. I mean, you can't have straight political. I mean, the best you're going to get is Ex Machina.
That's as close. Gotcha.
And that's close, almost there, but it's still superhero-y in the background. I mean, you could get away with it if it's more of a slice of life background stuff, but you're not going to get away with a strict political style. No.
Okay. Raph, you want to share those numbers with us?
Okay, real quick, just to make sure, because I haven't looked in the insides. The McCain and Obama stuff is like it's biographical stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. So this is the interesting thing. Okay, so the question that's been asked is, did anyone learn anything new from the books, or did we get? I mean, what did you want to ask, Ian? What was the question about that?
Well, okay. Well, with that one, it was more. Is it reaching an audience that would have been otherwise unattainable?
Okay, so there's two ways I can answer that, being a comic shop employee. Is it reaching the people of the opposite party? Not really. They don't. Why would they care? They're just going to pick up whoever they're supporting.
Right.
However, I did notice when they first came out that there were a lot of new people. Maybe not like 1,000, but like maybe like a dozen people that came in and just specifically asked for the McCain or the Obama books. So I think in terms of comic book wise, we did reach a new audience, maybe, because they came in, they saw it, maybe they stuck around, they looked around and picked up some more stuff. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, yeah. But really, I mean, if I'm supporting McCain, why would I want to read about Obama? He's the devil. He's that horrible, nasty guy I don't want in office, and vice versa, you know. So we sold it. Okay, keep in mind, New York State is a blue state. It's going to vote Democrat no matter what.
Right.
We sold out of Obama in the first 5 hours of last Wednesday.
Damn.
Then a few hours later, we sold out a flip book.
Okay.
And then this this week, I came into work. We still had we ordered some flip books. And guess how many McCains we have?
All of them?
No, that's not true.
Okay.
We sold maybe like 4/5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we sold a fifth of them. So but they're all there.
Yeah.
McCain's like, please buy me.
So in other words, there's about as many DC Universe Zeros left at Midtown as there are McCains.
No, there's much less. We didn't order that many.
Okay.
But
I was going to say, Raph, what about the ones that are more in the Long Island area, and more the ones that are more in the suburbs and the Flushing? I mean,
well, yeah,
in the middle
again,
of the city, so I mean, you're in
also,
Democratic headquarters area.
Well, also, we get foot traffic from all over there. We get foot traffic from Long Island, Queens, all the boroughs. If you're coming to Manhattan, if you're coming anywhere near 40th Street and you like comics, you're coming to Midtown. That's just because there's no store within like a 5-block radius of us, except our own store, which again is not our competition. Yeah. So I mean, well, okay. Like I said, I did say it is a very democratic area, so don't. I'm not saying like all the Obamas across the country are sold out. I'm saying we are sold out of Obama specifically.
Okay.
So don't read into it too much. Maybe there's a state where none of the McCains are left and there's a ton of Obamas. I can't tell you exactly the numbers because I'm not part of that.
Well,
but yeah, we did very well with Obama.
This is making me want to ask out there any listeners who want to post in the forum thread for this once you listen to the episode, if you want to perhaps let us know when you went to your comic shop, if there were any left of one particular over the other, if you saw one selling out or one getting being grabbed off the shelves while the other one's sitting there, let us know because that's going to be the best way to tell which one was sitting there and which one wasn't. I would think, and again, this isn't just because of my political preference, but I would think more people would be picking up the Obama one because we know less about Obama than we know McCain.
Well, he's newer too.
Right.
McCain know about his military past, his service in the government, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh yeah. I mean, and again, I don't want this to cloud anybody's judgment, but I mean, I'm voting for Obama mostly because I don't want to vote for McCain. You know, but I don't really know that much about Obama at this point, so that's why picking up a comic book about him might help some people understand what he's about and what his past is about. Because McCain's is almost completely public knowledge at this point.
Well, I was down this past weekend since I had the long weekend. I'm a state worker, so I had a 3-day weekend.
Lucky you.
I went down to visit some friends in Morgantown, West Virginia, which is where the West Virginia University is where I went. And I stopped in the local comic store that I used to go to because I always like to patronize them when I'm, in town, buy something. And I was going to pick up a copy of both of the comics for one of my friends who doesn't read comics, but he collects political memorabilia. So I was going to pick up a copy of those for them, and they had sold out. So
Of all of them?
Of all of them.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good sign. I mean, that's a sign that I guess they were at least getting equal footing at that one. But then again, you don't know how many were ordered in the first place for that shop.
Right, and I didn't think to ask because the guy who owns the place wasn't there, so I didn't think the person working would know that.
Yeah, that's fine. And I mean, I'm asking out there in general to anybody really. I mean, anybody who wants to post in the forums and leave comments just so we can get a basic idea, because obviously we're not going to know number by number by number. But throwing off of this question though. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was the whole Stephen Colbert thing in Marvel Comics. The issue of Amazing Spider-Man with Stephen Colbert in it came out, and there was an alternate cover to this issue with Stephen Colbert on the cover with Spider-Man as drawn by Joe Quesadilla.
Quesadilla.
Thank you, Raph. I wanted to ask you this first. Sacrilegious. Raph, since you work at Midtown, obviously you're going to notice a little better than some of the other people here. How was that comic book selling? Do you think that more people were picking it up just because of the Colbert reference, or at least Colbert appearance, than people would normally pick up Amazing Spider-Man?
I can't tell because Amazing Spider-Man is one of our better sellers, so we're always refilling the wall. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that cover sold better than the other two covers.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Yeah, but I can't tell you if it sold more than an average Amazing Spider-Man would, because really that thing's right up, everyone buys that, so all right, I can't tell.
That's fine. But I was asking that because at first, wasn't that supposed to be a retail incentive at first, and they changed their mind?
Yeah, I think because of the popularity of it, and honestly, I'm pretty sure if it was, and we charged $10 or $20 for it, it still would have gone fast. Because it was that one we always fill up.
All right, cool. Well, I'm glad to know that. But let me actually just ask this question, and then I'll ask you, Raph, and I'll ask everybody else this. What do you think about Stephen Colbert's presidential campaign still existing in the Marvel Universe? I mean, is this going too far for politics? I mean, like we were talking about earlier, we sort of want our politics to stay at arm's length in most comic books, but here we have a public figure, Stephen Colbert, in our world, still having a campaign in the Marvel Universe, long after the joke was over here, it's still going on in the Marvel U. I mean, do you think we're going to get to a point where Stephen Colbert will be president of the Marvel Universe, or is this just all part of a gag? Raph, you can answer first.
Okay. Well, a few things. Well, okay, from a fanboy standpoint, I am a little tired of seeing Colbert 2008 and So Can You in the background. I love Stephen Colbert. I think he's funny. I see it over and over and over, especially since I work in a comic book store, and especially if I read the stuff for lunch. But the second thing is,
you might be better off eating for lunch.
I read for lunch. I just read. I can't afford it. No, that's not true. All right. Also, from a perspective of Marvel, though, they are trying to get attention to their books. They went because Quesadilla went on Colbert to give him the shield, and right after that, that's when this whole thing started. So people will go, "Hey, he's still in the Spider-Man book. Let me go pick it up." They're hoping for that, for that exposure to help out. And every time on the Colbert Report, you can still see Cap's shield visibly in the background. Is he going to win? Okay, not really. I'm not going to spoil Amazing Spider-Man. I haven't read it, so I heard that there's something that happens in it though that pretty much eliminates any chance of him like continue to run.
Okay.
I'm not 100%. I haven't read it. I don't know what happens, but someone told me that.
Mm-hmm.
So and you know what? I don't think he's going to win because how then Marvel's going to have to go to Colbert and go, hey, what do you want to do with your presidency here? I mean, it's a nice gag. It's way past running its course. But I understand why they want the press.
Yeah, because
it's Marvel after all. They really push the mainstream exposure.
Right, and I mean, in the political climate of the Marvel universe, having Colbert as president would not make sense. Because of the Superhuman Registration Act and all that, they're going serious. To have Colbert as president would be satirical, and it doesn't really make sense.
And what would he say about the Superhuman Registration Act?
Right.
It's like.
Right. Yeah. It wouldn't work in that universe. John, what's your take on this whole thing with the Colbert thing?
A, I don't read Marvel really, and B, I don't watch Colbert at all. But it's a publicity stunt, pure and simple. That's all it really is. He's just being a cheesy quesadilla, trying to get more readers for Spider-Man. Because as our boy John Mayo has proven, the numbers have dropped back to where it was beforehand. That title is not being as big a success as they thought it would be.
Mm-hmm. And this is a way to sort of inflate those numbers for an issue.
An issue or three or a couple, but just think. But here's a good, interesting point: is the Colbert for President run mentioned in any other book?
Yeah.
It's on billboards in the background.
Yeah, but is it referenced? Do they ever bring it up? Have they ever brought it up at all? Have any of them even mentioned the fact that there's a election going on?
There's there's mayoral election going on in Amazing Spider-Man, so you know that it's at least that time of the year in Marvel Comics where there would be elections going on. But the presidential campaign, no, it has not been brought up.
Except in Cap.
And
you would never see Stephen Colbert in Cap.
Right. Right, and there haven't been any. Actually, I remember. I think I'm remembering this right. Raph, you can probably back me up on this. I think there might have been one Colbert 08 and So Can You sign in the background at one of the political rallies in Cap.
He actually never actually appears in a debate or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The last issue of Cap of that storyline, he wasn't at the debate.
Yeah,
it's all every book. Whenever you see like a billboard instead of like a Marvel company like Cronus or whatever, they just put Colbert 08 and So Can You.
Yeah, but I think there was at least one political like rallier at that debate.
There was. I remember that specifically because it was so out of place.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because it's photoshopped in. They don't even bother to make it look like it was drawn.
Yeah, exactly. It's just cheap advertisement.
Right. Okay, well, Juan, you're more of a Colbert follower, so I guess you might have a little bit of a different opinion on this. But what do you think of the whole Colbert campaign?
It's worn itself very thin. It's just, we get it, it's a joke, but nah, you're pushing it. And the Spider-Man thing, I don't take much issue with it, but it's starting to kind of invade, like you said, the seriousness of the Marvel universe, mm-hmm. And that coupled with just his incessant, like say, hey, I'm in a Marvel comic. We get it. You're in a comic book and you're Tech Jansen, but you already get enough attention, and it's starting to affect how certain people write stories.
Yeah.
And when that gets in the way, it ceases to be about politics. It ceases to be about attention. Mm-hmm. He wants attention, and frankly, I won't give it to him. But I still bought that issue of Amazing Spider-Man, like I told Raph. We're collectors.
Yeah, well,
we're collectors. I gotta have them all. It's like fucking Pokemon.
I will say this, and please don't mention Pokemon.
It's funny because he works there.
you go fuck a nut. But yeah,
fuck a nut is a rare Pokemon.
Yes, it is. Go fuck a nut. Fuck a nut. God.
Fuck a nut. Fuck him up. Fuck a nut.
So
Bulbasaur.
So.
Fuck a nut.
Damn it! Now I'm forgetting what I'm saying. You guys suck.
You use your Ron Jeremy attack.
Okay, well, you know what? While I'm remembering, let me just ask Chad. And again, you don't follow Marvel that much. I understand that, but even the idea of a Colbert campaign in Marvel Comics, you must have a firm opinion on that.
So if Marvel gets Colbert, does that mean the DC Universe gets Jon Stewart?
Hell
Hell,
yeah.
motherfucker, yes.
He's already a Green Lantern.
Oh my God, a Green Lantern as president.
I say let truthiness ring.
Oh man! All right. Well, I think I basically remember what I was going to say, and that's I love Colbert, and I at least didn't fall for the trap of getting 2 copies of this, one with the regular cover and one with the Colbert cover. I just want the Colbert cover, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to run out and buy a second copy with just a regular New Ways to Die cover.
There are 5 covers, by the way.
I know, and I'm only picking up one. All right. No zombie cover for me. No J.R. Jr. straight up. No whoever drew that other one with Scorpion. I just picked up the Colbert one because it's actually a decently drawn Quesada cover for quite possibly the first time in years. But, But anyway, going back to what I was saying, you know, like what I mentioned with the seriousness, it doesn't work with Marvel Comics right now. That's why I'm kind of glad that hopefully it is going to an end and we just move on with our Marvel Comics and stop having these Saturday Night Live meets Marvel Comics crossover type things, you know? I mean, it's like it's all fun and games once or twice, but if you go any farther than that, that's when it starts being a pain in the ass. Which brings me to another point that I wanted to bring up on this episode. So see, this is all bridging like that. Which do you prefer in your comic books? Real-life politicians or characters that have been created for the comics? Like, for example, as opposed to seeing Senator Hillary Clinton, you see Senator Kelly. That sort of thing. Which do you prefer in comic books? And I'm going to go first here because I haven't actually gone first yet, so I'm just going to continue talking. I believe that we're better off almost every single time with a character created for the comic books because unlike in the real world, well, actually sort of like in the real world, comic books get old. So if you make a reference where Bill Clinton is at the funeral for Superman, or if
he was,
yes, he was. That's why I'm bringing it up. Or George W. Bush is talking to like Captain America, which did happen in one of the I believe during John's least favorite run of Captain America. I think that happened at least once. And or you have like even political candidates showing up that are the real political candidates. That's going to get old. If you're trying to sell trade paperbacks, you have to leave things as, I guess, leave them as forever young as possible. So if you were to have the race between Obama and Hillary mentioned in a comic book, that's already old news. Could you imagine a trade coming out now and that being brought up? It just wouldn't make any sense. So that's why most of the time, unless it's straight political reasons or unless it's more of a real comic book, like say like Supreme Power, when Bush was brought up in that and other presidents, that was okay with me. But other than that, I'm almost always going to go character created strictly for a comic book as opposed to the real life equivalent, unless you've got something real like Watchmen or something like that bringing up an old president. And actually, let me make that point now. If it is something taking place in the past, since it's already firmly been stated that the past happened and that the president's when things change in comic books. If you're bringing up like FDR, you're bringing up Reagan, or you're bringing up like George Washington, that's perfectly fine unless it's an alternate like reality. So that I'm cool with, just not current politicians. No, thank you on that. And we'll go to why not? We'll go to Juan here first. Made for comic book or real?
Made for comic book, because then you could kill them if you disagree with them. Straight up, man. I'm not gonna beat around the bush on that one. If I don't like your ideas and I'm a bad guy, hey, here's $50.
Was the pun intended on that one?
Oh yeah, yeah, it was.
So
that no pun intended stuff. I'm like, you take it as it is.
All right.
Like a man.
I like that. Straight, smooth talking from you, Juan.
Yeah,
nice and simple.
That's the Straight Talk Express right up where you're. Never mind.
True. John, what about you?
And there you go.
I agree with everything said so far on this entire call. It is beautiful and sweet and correct. I prefer the
I like it
analogs.
You prefer the analogs? Okay.
Yeah, you can, as he said, well, you can kill them. But the other thing is that with every generation, you can put your own spin on who they're supposed to be an analog of. 30 years ago, almost 40, you could say Senator Kelly was this person. In the 80s, you could say he was this person. Today, you can say he's this person. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and with all these, with a fake politician, you do get that ability to go, hey, look, this person isn't, we know he's not this person, but he could be this person. Now, there are advantages of putting a real-life politician in there. Yes, it does date you, but it does give a little bit more of an impact. I mean, if we had President Joe Schmo as Superman's president, it wouldn't have had the effect as having President Clinton there. And now, of course, with the sliding scale of comic time that you have, as opposed to comic timing, you've got to continually adjust that. That's why, I mean, if you were, say, to re-release that today, you may want to put out a Senator Obama is there, if you were to redo it today, or whoever, or McCain, or whoever's the president. You may want it, if you're going to keep it fresh, you can do that. But I mean, occasionally dating your comic is perfect for the time, because it does let people know, hey, this isn't of that time. Because if you look back at those comics, they do represent their time, and so you do age them. But as Juan said, and you said, I like the analogs. A, you can kill them. B, they can continually change who they are.
Right. Yeah. That helps out. That helps out a lot. You don't have to then go and change your politician, your real life politician, to go with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep names consistent. Chad, let's head over to you with this one.
I'm going to agree with you, Ian. If it's current, continuity, then you can put in somebody else. But like, I couldn't imagine the JSA without FDR, because that's a big part of the, backstory of that group. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. So you draw the line on current, but past is perfectly fine.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Nice and simple as well. Just along the lines of what Juan said. Raph, what about you?
I do like a cutesy little reference every now and then, but when you use a real-life candidate, it's hard, or a real-life president, it's really hard, because, what if you put something in there that the candidate actually disagrees with? And, what if they see that? Or, they're gonna complain to you, and then, Marvel Comics causes presidential controversy, or whatever. It's better to have analogs, and it's better to just, because then you can play around with them, like you guys have said. You can off them when you don't like them. And I forgot to bring this up before, but just so you guys know, the DC presidential seat is like a rotating chair, because after Lex got knocked out in 2003, Pete Ross took over until he became Ruin, and then there's the guy from Uncle Sam after that, and then we had another guy who I think is either the same guy or they changed it, and now we have the election DC decision. So,
my word.
There's been 5 different presidents in the past 5 years.
And that's why we need Jon Stewart.
Exactly.
When I am elected, I will give you the news, and I will be funny about it. And I will also be impervious to yellow. Thank you.
DC knows no fear.
Yes, indeed. He's proven that time and time again. You were talking about DC a little bit, so let's talk about Marvel and DC. Do you feel that one company slants towards one side of politics, or do you feel that they're sort of even-handed? That is, do you believe that Marvel is one way and DC is another, or do you feel that they're both trying to be as middle as possible to try and please and appease everybody out there at once? And we'll go with, let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll go with Chad here first.
I think, I don't know, DC kind of seems middle of the road. I mean, if you want to, when you get into the more political based, you get into the more Vertigo titles.
Yeah, but Vertigo's totally separate. I mean, Vertigo's like I mean, you can be any creator you want, talk about any opinion you want, as opposed to having to be in one universe with a whole bunch of characters.
Right. DC, does it slant either way? Come back to me.
Okay. Well, I think that you're having to think about it. It sort of proves that it kind of doesn't. I don't know. I mean, if you got to try and make up your mind one way or the other, then I guess they're doing a good job. But we will indeed go back to you, Chad. Juan, do you believe that either one of them slants one way or the other?
I think they both pretty much slant more towards the left, just because of the people who are writing it. They are very progressive in their ideals, and it carries through to their characters, and I think you could pretty much see it.
Okay, all right. Are there any specific examples you want to bring up, or is it just in general?
Well, think about Captain America in Civil War. He was really, really left until he realized the error of his ways. Mm-hmm. Think of Spider-Man and his whole deal of protecting while also trying to do the good thing. It's more about the ideals of the heroes that both companies bring across, and that is a very democratic thing. It's about the ideal. It's about the ideal. It's not about winning or losing. It's about the idea and how you could cause change, and both companies tend to have that certain slant in their characters.
So it's sort of subconscious, even.
It is. It may be intentional or not, but just by the very fact of the type of people that they are, very few characters do you often see come off very right wing, with the exception of Hawkman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Hawkman, I think, is the rightest man in the entire DCU.
Well, try to name one Marvel character that's right wing.
Iron Man.
You know what? No, Iron Man. I don't think he's as right wing as they come.
I certainly.
Guy Gardner. No. What about him?
He's DC. Yeah, we're talking Marvel here.
I'll
get to
it. Hawkman. So.
Well, yeah, no. Guy Gardner's certainly along the lines of Hawkman if you're talking DC. But other than, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Other than Iron Man, anybody else who's really along those lines in Marvel?
Senator Kelly.
Senator Kelly, yeah. Well, what about what the hell's the name of the guy who used to be he was with the Initiative for a while. Used to be the Avengers ambassador for the UN. You know what I'm talking about. The one with the glasses.
3D man?
No, dude, the politician. The politician. He was the goodwill ambassador for the Avengers when they were under UN control.
Senator Kelly?
No, not Senator Kelly.
I can't. I think I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Not Trask, but the other one.
Yeah, I've lost his name.
Hold on,
it's gone.
I gotta look this up.
What about Penance?
Oh yes, Penance is very much to the right for me to poop on.
Oh, so no, Osborn. Although he's just crazy.
Osborn, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that is the closest we get, Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Osborn's definitely to the right, but what
Punisher?
Gyrick, Henry Gyrick.
Oh, that's who I meant. I was, yeah, that's really who I meant. The douchebag.
Yeah, Gyrick.
Yeah,
Gyrick's more to the right than anybody.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, you do have plenty of characters in Marvel. They're just not the most prominent ones, except for Iron Man, but that, I guess, is up to opinion.
Well, Iron Man, in some ways he is, in some ways he is. I mean, because he's a futurist, and really, he's gonna eventually lean more left once we get to a certain point when he wants to create certain innovation. I mean, perfect example, S.H.I.E.L.D. I think S.H.I.E.L.D. is more of a right wing. Like all the Dugan and Maria Hill, they're more right wing because they sort of want the traditional military order, whereas Stark has sort of built this sort of like big business sort of hierarchy to S.H.I.E.L.D. In certain ways, he was forced to be the pro-reg because he really believed in it and to go against his buddies, but really he thought it was the right thing at the time to forward his agenda, which meant a better world.
I go by what Iron Man basically is since he's been created, and I brought this up to you, Raph, after the Iron Man movie came out, where he is every Republican's fantasy. A rich guy who creates a suit and blows up terrorists.
Well, yeah, but not only that, though. He is the perfect Republican because he is an arms dealer who supplies America with weapons. But then he becomes a little more moderate because he sees that his weapons are in the enemy's hands. and he decides to fight him. He decides himself to fight and do the right thing and take the weapons out of their hands. So that's a little more. Yeah, he is still a Republican extreme.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean that's where I'm going. But Juan, I mean, do you? I mean, you obviously think differently. I mean, you want to back up your claim a little bit?
No, I just think he chose a side, and that doesn't always make you Democrat or Republican. He chose a side because of his ideal, and he said, well, in order to stem the loss of future lives, we have to make this tough choice now. And he took the choice. And if you think that it was a militaristic choice in nature or the way that he's handling it is Republican, you see that's where the line is blurred a little bit, because he has seemingly privatized SHIELD, like Raph said, and he's done that's a very Republican thing to do. However, he's also brought a certain level of accountability towards the American people and the world at large. So that's a very democratic thing to do. So it really depends on how you view things.
Right. Okay.
So it's an opinion.
Yeah. No, it totally is. It totally is. Chad, did you make up your mind?
I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that DC is pretty balanced because you have Green Arrow on the far left, and then you have a counterpart like Hawkman or Green Lantern on the other side. So I'd say DC seems pretty balanced for me. I don't think we need to get into the Batman Superman debate again.
Yeah, I think that went on long enough earlier, and that I'll let you.
You can just copy that and paste it in. And...
Oh no, please! That'll make the episode longer. But I also allow you to abstain from Marvel since you're not much of a Marvel individual.
Okay, I abstain from Marvel then.
Good. And John, what about you?
I'm gonna have to say agree a little with Chad. DC is more middle of the road. What characters in there that have they have more characters with known political beliefs. Mm-hmm. They do tend to be more on the left and right. Whereas Marvel, you basically are guessing as to what they are. Uh-huh. But and DC's always been a little bit more political in its characters because because the Golden Age is such an important part of that universe, whereas it's not in the Marvel universe other than Cap.
Right.
And let's be honest, before Civil War, a lot of their views on what characters would be Cap, we all would have agreed would be a Republican before the way he acted before Civil War. Mm-hmm. So, it's hard to guess. As we were talking last time, you look at the Fantastic Four, Grimm, he's definitely more left-wing. You figure Sue's more middle-of-the-road right, and Reed is more, you never know, but I'd say he's more right-wing. That's just speculation. Mm-hmm. But, if you're going to get politics in your more political views, I'd say DC, you're going to get more of a slightly left view because of the writers they get there, because of their own political views are going to be more that way. Whereas Marvel tends to, and the type of characters they have, they are going to be more to the right. Even though the characters may not be more right-wing, the way they will be written will be more right-wing because vigilante-style justice is more of a right-wing belief than it is a left-wing belief.
I'll totally agree with you there, John, because, the current state of the Marvel Universe is very Republican because I think that the Superhero Registration Act is very Republican. Sure, Spider-Man is, extremely liberal, and you've got characters like Hawk. Actually, do you call him Ronin or Hawkeye at this point? I don't even freaking know anymore. I guess technically still Ronin, but he's always been more liberal than anything else. And Quicksilver is obviously more of a conservative, but he doesn't even get a say really. I don't even know if he's a U.S. citizen.
He isn't.
He isn't, right?
No, he was born out.
Yeah, and his wife is Moon, is from the moon.
Yes. And how many people get to say that?
But even on its face, what Spider-Man himself may be liberal, but what he does is right wing.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's the thing, is that one of the bigger writers I like to read is going to be your Eric Flint and your David Weber and stuff like that, that is more the military-style fiction that, even though I don't like the political beliefs of the writers, because they tend to be much more right-wing than I personally am, and the style of stuff that's in there, which is what a lot of Marvel is, because, vigilantism, which is what comics is for the most part, it's very vigilantism, is much more right-wing than it is left-wing.
Yes, but aren't the anti-reg sort of like the closest thing to hippies that you can get in comic books right now?
No, those guys in front of the sports.
Other than the new Avengers, who is anti-reg that's left out there?
A whole bunch of characters. A whole
Cage,
bunch.
Iron Fist, Daredevil.
Yeah, but they're all.
Spider-Man.
But other than Daredevil, all the ones you just mentioned are members of the New Avengers. That's what he was just making the comment of.
Daredevil doesn't count. Daredevil's not even in the mainstream Marvel universe anymore.
No, he still is. He just appeared in Amazing Spider-Man. So, he is definitely still around. Punisher doesn't count either, but he's anti-reg.
The X-Men are anti-reg.
The X-Men are all anti-reg.
But they don't need to register, so...
They're mutants, so they don't count.
Well, and plus, you could say the Eternals also are anti-reg because they're not signing up.
Thor is anti-reg. Don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
That's my fucking Iron Man. He took your ass out in 5 seconds.
Bucky Cap is anti-reg.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else.
But not according to Bendis, he'll be part of the next Avengers team.
No. He'll be part of the new Avengers, not the next Avengers.
Yeah,
he's not
the next Avengers team.
Well, I know, but that's new Avengers that he's going to be in for the looks of things.
Yeah, I'm saying Bendis was disputing that at one point, I think, wasn't he?
Right. But he's at least on the cover of New Avengers, so unless New Avengers is going to change into a pro-reg team, he's probably going to be remaining anti-reg. But yeah, there are still plenty of characters. They might not be the most well-known characters, but there are still plenty of characters out there that are still anti-reg. But a lot have signed up at this point, so I will give you that, John, definitely. Have I asked everybody this question at this point? I'm like, we've been talking so long.
Oh, you haven't asked yet.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, Raph. Do you feel that they lean one way or the other?
All right, I'm gonna say this: the DC universe itself is a little more left. The Marvel universe is a little more right, but I think the Marvel characters are more left because the X-Men themselves, they're an allegory for the whole race thing back in the 60s. They are left wing. They are very left wing. They're a radical group that exists outside of the normal social group. They're different from everyone else. Yeah. So characters like that, they're way more. They're overall more left wing than the DC universe itself. But the DC universe, it's about these great, powerful beings that will take care of you, that will protect you. You can say that's representative of big government. The government's here to protect you. The government will take care of you. It'll provide all the programs you need. Superman's there to save you. You can argue that. Of course, you can also argue the other way. Superman's a militaristic order. You can always, because he's been around for so long, people can take him and do whatever they want with him. But generally, I would say DC is more left wing. Also, DC's characters are more politically defined because you have Hawkman, you have Green, you have Hal, you have Ollie, you have Guy, and you have all the B-level. I like to argue that the Trinity isn't. They're kept apolitical. They don't really touch them. Occasionally, you get representations of them for one way or the other, but they're generally left alone. Everyone else, though, you pretty much know where they stand. And with Marvel, you don't really get that as much.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time we actually saw an election in Marvel Comics, other than the most recent Cap stuff?
No, there's just a president. There's a president in office. That's it. And you see him once every few comics, once every 2 years.
Yeah, and with DC, you almost always see the election in as it's happening.
Not really. Outside
7 times a year.
Outside of 2000, before this stuff going on now with Uncle Sam and then the current election, when was the last real election that we can all think of?
President Luther.
They had. Before President Luther, what was the first one that took up multiple issues and multiple titles?
Well, then you can say modern history, because you just said 2000. That's 8 years ago. So at least in the modern history of the DCU, you could definitely make that comment that they do elections a lot more than Marvel does. You got to give me that, because, I mean, again, you just made the comment 2000. That's 8 years ago.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you on that.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's why they have DC Decisions.
Oh, yeah.
And really, outside of Ollie and Lex, when was the last time that somebody in the DCU ran for an office? Really? There was a name other than Police Commissioner Wayne. When Bruce Wayne of Earth 2 was the police commissioner, ran in one police commissioner.
What about Congressman Gordon? What was it? Or was that?
Yeah, Barbara.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Barbara.
Pete Ross.
Yeah.
Pete Ross is a senator. That was like the 90s.
How often? But was his election in there, or was he just all of a sudden a senator?
No. Because Superman had to protect his life. Yeah.
Yeah, his election was there.
Okay.
There's the love triangle between him, Lana, and Superman, and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was an election for president back in. It was in Flash. I don't think anything ever came of it.
Explain it a little bit.
It was the one where Piper. It was one of, I guess, Piper's friends, and he was asking Wally to help protect him because somebody was. I think it was. I can't remember. It was. I think it was either the Wade or maybe the Johns run.
Okay.
I can't remember.
This was
a gay man running for president?
It was probably Wade, because I don't remember Johns doing that. I read all of Johns' run.
So, like, late 90s then, like 96, 97 is probably, or 95 even. Mm-hmm. Mid 90s is probably when that happened.
Yeah. No, damn it, I'm really trying to think right now. In DC, if there was anybody else, but no, I can't. I mean, you can say, but again, we didn't really see the lead up to this. That just sort of happened this way. Because of 1 year later, you had Alan Scott in a political office in Checkmate, and you had Mr. Terrific in a political office in Checkmate, and you had Ollie Queen, but you never actually saw their election process. So yeah,
because that was in a missing year.
Right. That's important, I guess.
Actually, it wasn't part of Ollie's election in '52.
It was. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was after the fact, though.
No, I don't think so, because didn't they? That was when they had like the replacement Justice League.
Well, no. What I'm talking about though is Ollie was mayor in his book because of 1 year later.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it came up in '52. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it didn't come out till well after like Ollie's storyline had started.
Right, because that was the nature of '52. It was the flashback to that missing year. So that's the way that worked. But I think we can move on to here. One of the last two questions really that we'll combine into one, because one of them is a bullshit question. So I'll just throw that one in there. How far should the average superhero go when heroics interact with politics? Now I'll give you an example here. That a guy who is running for president pulls Iron Man over to the side, pulls Captain America over to the side, or if you want to go DC, pulls Arsenal over to the side, or Red Arrow, if you want to call him that, and says, I've got something I want you to handle. And, gives him instructions and everything, and, he breaks up, like, a ring, and then he finds out it was totally political. That it was just something that was being broken up because it was something involving the opponent, and that there wasn't an actual, like, wrongdoing going on, but too little too late, it happened already, and you're screwed. Or what he uncovers makes the other opponent look bad. It's technically shady, but it's only connected to that other person due to like 1%. Like that person happened to endorse him or something like that. That's where I'm going with this. How far do you think politics should interact with the heroics of superheroes? I hope this question makes sense, and I hope I'm explaining it right, because it's 1:22 a.m. and I might not be thinking straight here. And the other question is the for shits and giggles one. What superhero would you like to see as president of the United States? And I will go with John here first for both.
Okay. You're going to have to refresh my memory. What's the first question again? You started rambling, so
yes, exactly. It's 1:22, so bear with me. How far should a superhero go when heroics interact with politics?
So basically, if his super heroics are what's causing him are going to interfere in politics?
Either interfere with politics or are solely for political reasons. Like if a candidate asks you to do something, and you think it's for the better good, and then you find out it was just, to fuck over the other candidate.
Typically, you're going to have that. They're going to, of course, attempt that with the big characters, but the only success you'll have will be with the lower name levels, like a Firestorm or a crappy-ass little character like a Gangbuster or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They should not do it at all. They should not be involved at all, but they will. I mean, they will. So, I mean, that's not a real easy question to answer. But as opposed to what character I'd like to see as president, well, the character I'd like to see as president would be Bruce Wayne. The character I'd love to see as president would be a character who could not be president, Superman.
Oh. Well, technically...
But he was!
Technically, he could be president. All he's got to do is just be like, yeah, you see this document? I'm made of steel. Rip.
Not again.
Listen, he was president in that annual. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well,
he made it.
He also made himself emperor. Remember that?
New
Yes,
Earth. New
I know
Earth.
both issues.
My God, man. I forget, what the hell was the name of that dude anyway? The guy who was like warping reality and fucking with him?
Dominus.
Dominus. Yeah, Dominus. What the hell ever happened to Dominus?
He got his ass kicked by Superman because that's what Superman does because he's Superman.
Yes, thank you for the brilliant answer there, sir. All right. Well, I think I know what Rap's answer is for the president thing, but maybe
No, it's not. No,
oh, really?
You
Okay, all right. But answer answer both questions for me, Rap. All right. The
Okay.
how heroes should interact with politics and who you want to be president. Go ahead.
Okay. Heroes should only interact with politics if it means lives. Like if there's a terrorist attack on let's say the Democratic National Convention, Superman should be there to bust them terrorist asses. And that's about it. I don't want them getting into areas where they may help or hurt a candidate because they're supposed to be above that. They're supposed to maintain the order, not change it or influence it in any way. As for who I'd like to see, I definitely would love to see Superman as president, don't get me wrong. But I would also love to see Batman as president. Batman, not Bruce Wayne. Because he can go over to Afghanistan and go, swear to me you're gonna find Osama.
What'd you say? What'd you say? I couldn't understand you.
Swear to me you'll find Osama.
What? Why are you graveling your voice like that? I can't understand.
Isn't Frank Miller writing that, though?
Why are you trying to kill me?
I don't think that book's ever coming out, Chad.
Oh, come on.
No. Batman Kills Osama is not going to ever come out.
He actually changed it. He said it's beyond Batman now. It's its own story. So he's going to create a separate character.
Okay, all right.
He doesn't stay in Hollywood forever.
But why do you want Batman to be your president?
No, seriously, I want him to use the Batman voice on all our enemies and have them all shit their pants.
My fellow Americans, we're gathered here today.
What?
I'm gonna kick her out. I don't know what you're saying, but you're scaring the shit out of me. Okay, you win.
And then we find out he just, repealed the entire Constitution.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah. And then Batman can use bat robots to rule the planet like he did in Kingdom Come.
Okay.
And that'd be cool.
I'm gonna answer both questions now, and then I'll roll over to Juan and Chad. So for the first question, there's got to be limits. Say, for instance, with the Spider-Man stuff that's been going on lately, where due to his work with the DB, up until the whole, being let go thing, he was directly influencing the campaign of Crown and what the hell's the name of the other guy? What is it? Hollister, yeah, Crown and Hollister, via the pictures he was taking and via his actions, even as Spider-Man, without even knowing it, he was being manipulated into changing the outcome, basically, of the election. At least that's the way that I've been looking at it. And that's a little bit too far for Spider-Man to go. I like the idea of the mayoral election being in the comic. However, I want Peter to be out of it. I don't want that to happen. I mean, it's supporting characters, sure, go right ahead. I mean, if Harry wants to help out, that's cool. But with what's been going on with Peter, that's been a little bit too close for comfort. I'm glad that they've been backing that off of that a little bit. So I think that, like what Raph said, and like what's been stated previously, unless it is directly saving the life of someone whose life should be saved in the political system, then go for it. Or if you're specifically being asked by a candidate or by a politician to take out like an evil like Hydra ring or something like that, that's good. If you're being asked to take out a corporation and then you find out the corporation was totally, okay, that's not cool. So there's got to be limits to that. And who do I want as my president? I want Bucky Captain America as president. Okay, because he is the type of person that will be able to kick the sorry ass of anybody who talks under him. Plus, he's been through enough shit to be able to come out unscathed from being president. He's not going to be one of those guys who ages 20 years in the office after being there 4 years. Because he doesn't really age anyway, thanks to Super Soldier Serum, so he's good to go.
And he's a war hero.
He's a war hero. Yes, exactly. He's been through multiple wars, and he could probably even lead, like the old-fashioned generals, he could probably lead, as a general, troops into a war and kick sorry ass. So that's why I'm going with Bucky Captain America as my president. Juan, I do believe the floor is yours, unless you want to, act last like you usually do.
Nah, I'm flaming out here.
All right, go ahead.
So, well, the problem with becoming political and being a hero is that you're seen as endorsing a certain candidate, and that shouldn't be what being a hero is about. Being a hero is about making tough choices, and that includes staying out of politics. But if you have to get involved, it should only be for proper reasons and not allowing yourself to be used as a tool. And if you are used as a tool, you should go ahead and you should let them know that it was not your intention, and you should let the public know that that was not your intention. Person I want to see as president, Dick Grayson. I want to see him as president because he could rally the troops in a time of national emergency and bring us whatever and wherever we need our resources at the drop of a hat. He's the one person in DCU that all the heroes trust, and I believe that he has the qualities that would possibly make him the best presidential candidate.
Nice. Well done. I would have never even thought of Dick, but, I guess he's been a ward long enough. He needs to step up and be the man in charge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Mr. Burdett.
He needs to grow a set.
Wait, say that again?
I said he needs to grow a set.
Yeah, and being president hopefully will do that. And Chad Burdett, I've left the light on for you.
Wow. It's really late because I find myself agreeing with Raph.
Yes!
I think the heroes should be above politics, and only in dire circumstances should they get involved.
Okay. And your president?
Well, last time I said ambush bug, but I'm going to change that.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say Animal Man because, he just needs to have more exposure. For vice president, I'll have Booster Gold because he's in an undisclosed location.
Oh, wow.
My attorney general will be Kate Spencer.
Okay.
And EPA is Swamp Thing.
That's pretty good.
Let's make it so.
I obviously had too much time to think about that this week, but
apparently so, man. I mean, we just went president here. You went the entire cabinet.
Your tax dollars at work.
Yes, your tax dollars at work and 3 pages of notes.
That's right. Stuff I didn't even use, but oh well.
And that's what I love about comic timing. You can come in here with notes. You can do whatever you want, but no, we're not going to fucking get to it. Come on, man. It's off the top of the head. That's the way you go. That's the way you roll.
Yep.
Raph,
We're Mavericks.
Yeah, Raph, can you be the Brent fill-in and go back and forth for the forum comments?
Yeah, let me just pull them up.
Okay.
Out of my pants.
Yeah, thank you.
From my bum.
Yeah. All right, before we get to the forum comments, John's got a roll here because it's getting way too late for him and his wifey. So before we go, you want to pimp your comic book page appearance real quick?
It was on comic book page talking about something or other. Oh, yeah, Longbow Hunters. Other thing, I restarted my blog, theoblivionbar.com. If you want to go by there, it's supposed to be updated 3 times a week. Basically, comics, politics, tech, work, sports, whatever. Just blabbing around.
All right, man. Excellent. All right, and thanks for sticking with us this long.
All right, you be good.
Read Bushy Tales.
Yes, read Bushy Tales. Yeah, right. All right, there you go. There's John Carroll. Once again, check him out on the comic book page and all that other crud. So here we go. All right, we're starting off with Spider Avenger here, and let's roll it out. How political do you write your comic books? I'm pretty indifferent on the political scale of the comics I read. What are some of your favorite storylines involving politics? He said, Death of a Dream in Captain America, Civil War, and just about every story from Ex Machina. Is there a market for straight political comic books? He said, sure, I could see a market for that kind of book. Will we be buying the McCain-Obama one-shots, and do they reach an otherwise unattainable audience? He says, I won't be picking up either one-shot. I'm not sure if they bring a new audience to comics or not. When politicians are used in comics, would you prefer real or generic? He says, I don't really care one way or the other. About the Stephen Colbert stuff, he responds with, I'm okay with it. I think the more Colbert does with Marvel, the better the chances he will have one of the writers on his show. Huh. That'd be interesting. Wouldn't it be cool if Ed Brubaker or Bendis was on the Colbert Report? You know, he sort of brings up a good point there about that. I mean, do you think this is going to bring any extra exposure to comic book writers? I mean, I'm not sure if it'll really go that far, but I don't know. Juan, what do you think? I mean, is there a possibility?
Well, there was an opportunity, whether it got political or not, because Colbert is he's a huge comics fan. But maybe it'll bring new people in, but I doubt the people who watch Colbert are not reading comics already. Maybe some people would, walk into a comic shop every now and then, but very few new people will come off of that. There's very little new crossover into other media when you're of that age of the age of the people who are watching Colbert.
Sure. Yeah, because, I mean, you're not going to really have much 8-year-olds watching Colbert.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How far should the average superhero go? He says it really depends on the issues and whether it seems forced. For instance, I don't think anyone would want to read about Nightwing's stance on abortion or how Johnny Storm feels about immigration. I don't know.
I would like to hear vice versa. How Johnny Storm feels about abortion, because, he does what he does, and Nightwing feels about immigration, because I'm sure he knows a lot of people that have immigrated.
Yeah, Chad, I'm sure you're not really clamoring for Nightwing's stance on abortion, right?
I don't know. It might be important to know, seeing how, he likes to get with the ladies.
Especially if you're a redhead.
Especially if you have redhead, yeah.
I think he's been with every redhead in the DCU at this point. Move on.
Well, hold on.
And every Red Hood, too. Oh.
He was with Red Hood. That's kind of...
Redhead, for the love of God, Redhead, no!
Well, one of the Nightwings was Red Hood during the memorable Bruce Jones.
Oh, it's getting late. All right, and for shits and giggles, who do you want to see as president? He said, a resurrected Steve Rogers. Now, that man would get a lot of votes, especially for the resurrection. Back your ass up with the resurrection. All right, and Red Right 88, I will hand this over to the Brent Casino fill-in for the night, Raf Suhu. Go ahead, Raf.
Oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. I'm Brent Casino.
He's going to kick your ass for that one, Raf.
Hey, he rips me a new one every other episode, okay? So there you go.
Right.
How political do you like your comic books? I think that politics in comics, like any other form of entertainment, is best served in small doses. What are some of your favorite storylines involving politics? Lex Luthor's presidential bid in DC Comics. Brilliant. Is there a market for a straight political comic book? I'm leaning towards no. There's an inherent danger of a title of that nature becoming didactic and not entertaining, which is what comics should be, entertaining. Will you be picking up the McCain-Obama one-shots, and do these sort of comics reach an audience otherwise unattainable? No, money's a little tight right now. No, if people want political information, there are plenty of other avenues for that. When politicians are used in comics, would you prefer they be generic comic book characters or actual real-life politicians? Depends on the story. Savage Dragon endorsing Obama's okay, but I wouldn't want to see John McCain being the Red Skull's puppet in Captain America, and Red Right 88, it's too late. And finally, for shits and giggles, what superhero would you like to see as President of the United States? The Hulk. Hey, he did a good job ruling that planet, meaning Sakaar, until it blew up.
Okay. Hulk as President of the United States.
Hulk smash deficits!
First order of business. Everyone leave United States. Hulk want to be alone. We're all going to get deported to Mexico. Second order of business. all bitches come to Hulk.
So it's like Puppet Rios Hulk?
Yes. Suck it, bitches. Yeah, I think...
I don't know about this.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Red Right. We love you. All right, Tech Jedi, how political do you like your comics? He said, I'd really prefer if it stayed allegory or totally fictional or involved things we don't see in our world. There's too many other outlets running around in real life. Fictional politics can be insanely intriguing, however. What are some of your favorite superhero storylines involving politics? He said, I don't remember having read many at all, so I suppose I'm stuck for going with Civil War. Is there a market for a straight political book? He says, I seriously doubt it. There's too much danger of it becoming just essays pasted onto talking heads. The comic world has enough trouble keeping basic relationships things going, let alone something like politics. I think he brings up a good point there, because with politics, there's a lot of words involved. You know, I mean, could you imagine the long ass word balloons that would be involved with a political book?
Every book
that's what I said about the McCain and Obama. It's like words and
the occasional picture to accompany them.
Yes, not much was happening except for McCain crashing planes. So.
I do agree with Tech Chat. I know the comic world has enough trouble keeping basic relationship things going.
Yeah,
that's a great Palin-esque sentence.
Yes, thank you.
Maverick,
thank you. Will you be? I hate you. All right. All right. Will you be picking up the McCain-Obama one-shots? He says, no, I find the idea laughable. Neither of them has ever read a comic I have. What are they going to do? It'll be the NFL Super Pro of the new millennium. Bringing up NFL Super Pro. You are my hero, Tech Jedi. I still have an issue with that lying around somewhere. It was bad. Really, really bad. They can't even use it anymore because they don't have the NFL license. And when politicians are using comics, would you prefer them be generic? He says, I much prefer totally fictional ones. We can't really be sure of what any given politician would have said in any given fictional situation, so just make it up out of the whole cloth. And I got to tell you, I think Ted Kord would have made a great president, and I guess he wants to resurrect him to come back on there. And I agree. Ted Kord, Blue Beetle, president, hell yeah, I'm all for it.
Black Lantern.
Black Lantern. Ted Kord is your Black Lantern United States president. Amen.
Black Lantern, too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Astronaut, over to Raph.
Black Lantern.
Black Lantern? Thank you, Juan. Raph, go ahead.
As a man of 35 years of age and a college graduate, I am done learning things. And I especially don't want to learn anything from the comics I read. I don't even want the characters I'm reading about in comics to learn anything. I have been known to lapse and fall into a comatose state when a comic character has had some unlikely awakening and transforms into a respectable citizen.
My name is Dick Grayson, and I have learned something. I should not womanize.
Oh no! Hopefully, people aren't putting down their comics and saying to themselves, gee whiz, I never thought about it like that. That would make me feel empty inside. That being said, political comics can be quite enjoyable.
Thank you, Don Pardo.
The movie phone guy.
That being said, political comics can be quite enjoyable. Press 1 now.
That being said, political comics can be quite enjoyable. Ex Machina by Brian K. Vaughan is currently my favorite ongoing series. Vaughan's main character, Mitchell Hundred, is a former superhero who currently serves as mayor of New York City. Vaughan expertly handles political issues that confront Mitchell Hundred without overtly slamming the reader over the cranium with some intelligence insulting political agenda. Thank you, Brian, for not teaching me anything. I truly enjoy your book. And for his presidential candidate, Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne for president, whomever has more disposable income to restore my continually shrinking personal portfolio.
You know what? Why don't we just have like a crossover? Bruce Wayne is president and Tony Stark is VP.
Yeah. What do you want to do about that, Tony? Hey, listen, why don't we just,
I think we should do it. Please take your helmet off, Tony. I can't understand a word you're saying. But I like the helmet on. Please take it off, Tony. Please, for the love of God, you don't have a mouthpiece. And check out the Outer Spacemen, by the way, because I see this advertised on them. TheOuterSpacemen.com.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, I think we managed to get through this long-ass monster. Any final thoughts from anybody before we wrap this baby up?
It's been a good 75 episode run.
Yes.
One.
Go ahead, Chad.
John McCain on the comic book reminds me of the Smiler from Transmet. And don't blame me. I'm voting for Kodos.
I don't think there's a better way to finish a political episode than with that, man. Brilliant. And once again, Comic Timing is sponsored by Heroes Corner over at heroescorner.com. To remind you about the bundle this month for Veterans Day, they've got 3 comic books for the price of 1, basically. G.I. Joe #1 in this, as well as Captain America Theater of War, America the Beautiful, and Garth Ennis Battlefield's Dear Billy #1, all for $3.99. They retail for $12.48, so you're saving a bunch on these 3 comic books, so go ahead and check that out for Veterans Day. And yet again, Comic Timing code is CTROCKS, that's CTROCKS, 5% off on your first order with Heroes Corner. And the Comic Timing picks of the month, Final Crisis #7, 50% off. Heroes Corner price of $2, retail $3.99. G-Man #1 from Image Comics, 50% off as well, $2.98. Retail of $5.95, and Punisher #1, 75% off, only $1, and that is $3.99 retail. So go ahead and get your stuff from Heroes Corner this month. Best customer service around, as always, heroescorner.com. All right, before we do wrap this up, Chad, you were on another podcast recently, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on Raging Bullets. I did a review of DC Decisions #1, and I'll probably finish it up once I get my the last 2 from Heroes.
Yay!
So,
wait, would that be heroescorner.com?
That would be heroescorner.com.
All right, booyah!
Brings best to you every day.
And you have the distinct honor of being on a less than 3-hour episode of Raging Bullets.
Yes, yeah.
And their first in-studio guest.
That's true. I forgot about that. It's only been a few weeks. But, yeah.
Well, in fact,
it's very small.
In fact, Chad, now that I think about it, have you ever been on a podcast without being in person up until now?
No, this is the first one over Skype.
Wow.
I know.
Milestones all over the place, man.
And when I was recording with Sean and Jim, I was just glad that Jim didn't do his Watish, because he probably would have put my eye out. That's how small the room is.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Okay, their room is probably even smaller than where I'm recording right now.
Probably.
Oh dear. All right.
Well, no, they have stuff in there too.
Yes, they do. And RagingBullets.com, definitely check that out. And hey, Raph and Juan, you want to talk about that thing you do?
Well, yes. There is the Geeks Unite podcast. We have just finished recording a few hours ago the 36th episode of our show. We discuss a little bit of politics, a little bit of trades, a little bit of fall TV, and a little bit of Star Wars. And you can also find Juan's blog, veritaslogos.blogspot.com, and you can hear me occasionally on 11 O'Clock Comics with the transmissions from the RAF Radio. That's 11 O'Clock Comics at bullpenbulletinspodcast.com.
You can say that 3 times fast. Please.
That 3 times fast.
Thank you very much.
Maverick.
Anything to add, Juan, or did he do it all?
He got it all except I get girls.
Yes, you do.
Because he's a maverick.
Yes. All right. And Brent, what's upcoming on BK's Bullets?
Maverick. Oh my God, Brent is here! He was here the whole time!
I should really just stick in at the end, like a random, what happened? What?
Oh, no, you had to go, Brent.
I was surfing, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just went outside and caught some waves.
Brent!
Isn't that terrific, celebrating 75 episodes by not having Brent on?
Most of them.
I think we're pretty much done here. So freewebs.com/geeksunite and geeksunite.libsyn.com, correct?
That's correct.
Alrighty, and make sure to check out I have a blog now that I'm co-running with my girlfriend over at nonfictioncomics.com. So if you want to read anything about nonfiction comics, including a write-up of the Obama and McCain stuff before they came out, so more like a preview of it, you can check it out over at nonfictioncomics.com. It's on WordPress. It's just like a typical blog, but we've been posting a little bit on there, including, and this is one that you all got to check out. I wrote up a post on Spider-Man versus Planned Parenthood.
I actually found that on the internet, the full comic, and read it. It's scary.
Yeah, is it messed up? Oh, man, I don't want to explain it to all you guys out there. Just go to the blog and read it. It's one of the back posts. It'll mess you up, seriously. It is just crazy. So check that out. I'm twitter.com/I_M_sci-fi, and Raph is twitter.com/wraithmaker. Juan, are you on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter.
You are not on Twitter. You are on Facebook, though, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. So add him on there and chat. Are you on any of these mediums?
I haven't done Twitter yet, but I'm on Facebook and I have a blog, and it's called the White Noise Manifesto, and it's at caburdette.blogspot.com.
Yeah, and yet you got that whole spam thing cleared up, right?
No. Still working on that one, but I have a new triathlon blog, which is triseasons2.blogspot.com. So.
Okay, all right. Cool.
And it has my awesome Andrew Charpar design he did for me. So.
Sweet, excellent. And listen to one of the I forget, was it the very same? No, actually, it was a different one. One of the most recent Raging Bullets episodes has one of Brent's BK's bullets on it, so go ahead and check that out. So, all right, we're done here. So the email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out the forums over at thecomicforums.com, graciously hosted by the Comic Geek Speak guys over at comicgeekspeak.com. We're proud members of the Comics Podcast Network over at comicspodcast.com. We're also members of the League of Comic Book Podcasts over at comicbooknoise.com/league. Please dig us on dig.com. Please vote for us on Podcast Alley. And please, 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 for the love of God, give us your iTunes reviews on iTunes. We will be extra super happy. And thank you for sticking with us for 75 frickin' episodes of Comic Timing. It's been amazing, and there will certainly be more to come with this one. We ain't over yet, even if we're going to be gone for a few weeks while I move. So we'll be back in business once I'm ready to roll out of this sucker. One more thank you to Chad. Good having you on a real episode, not from a hotel room.
It's 2 a.m.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you in a bit on Comic Timing. And to Juan and Raph, thanks for hopping on at the last second.
Maverick.
And as always, there's always time for comics.
And Mavericks.
Even after 75 episodes. If you can get the word out.
If I can get the word out.
One more time. Yeah, sorry, I got a little bit distracted there by Raph dropping out for like the 400th time, so.
Yeah.
You know what? For the first time, I didn't do it on a Geeks Unite recording.
Oh, great.
Raph, can you stop cutting and running?
Thank you, John. Now my life feels complete. Well, you know what? While I'm waiting for him to show his ass back up. Okay, hold on. Never mind.
And
there he is. Okay. All right, but I better have him talk before he disappears again. So, ringing, call in progress. All right, Raph, are you there this time?
Maverick?
Yeah. Okay. Great. Terrific. Chad, did you eat John?
Did I what?
Did you eat John?
I'm sorry. I was hungry.
Tony Robbins hungry.
Tony Robbins hungry. Yes.
Wait, I speak Italian. Bobbidi.
See, now he's not even online, so now I gotta wait for him to be back online. I'll give him like 5 minutes if he's not back on at that point, and we'll continue talking. Beep-a-da-boop-a-da indeed.
Fuck you, Raph.
For those of you not playing at home, Rap just posted in our chat here between the five of us, Maverick, just to throw the fucker off.
He's an outsider.
So what newspapers do you read, Miss Palin? Well, you know, I read them all. Every single one of them.
Give me one in specific.
God damn it, John just freaking dropped again.
Well, Joe the plumber isn't doing a great job. I guess he can't buy that business because you are taxing his internet connection.
Yes, apparently so. All right.
Hey, at least you got a great blooper there. That was a very good blooper.
Yes.
You may not get a good show, but you got a good blooper.
I'm
The
certain.
person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Really? I didn't fucking notice. John, are you back for real now?
Blame the Tampa Bay Rays.
John, do me a favor, type your phone number into one of the chats, because if you die on us one more time, I'll just call your phone.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
There you go. Before I was so rudely interrupted by the son of a bitches at Skype.
No. Don't talk bad about them. They're probably listening to this phone call and they will fuck you over.
Motherfucking Comcast. What I get for torrenting stuff? Oh wait, you shouldn't torrent.
Because torrenting is evil.
True, but how else am I supposed to get my favorite shows? Hulu? They don't have everything.
I also hear that that torrenting might cause cancer.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
How's the situation on the ground over there? We're here with John, our correspondent over in Afghanistan. Exactly what do you see?
Oh god, explosions!
Okay, so he found a goat. What else have you found?
What did I?
So he found a goat. What else did you find?
What I like is that he waited 3 seconds to react because there's a tape delay.
You really? What the hell? You really?
Somebody just laid a really large sigh in this room. Who was it? Call it out.
Me. That was just me. That was just me. The first one was.
Okay, all right, Rap. Don't do that.
The first one wasn't me.
Okay, whoever else did it, don't do it. Okay, go ahead, John. Were you just clearing your throat, Chad, or do you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just clearing my throat.
Okay, just making sure. But Juan, and there I go, clearing my throat. But you sound like a laughing baby there for a minute, there, John.
Are you talking about the animal or the pubic hair?
Oh God!
The animal. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm
Now
sitting
when I
there.
see eggy parts.
This useless comment brought to you by Rap. Continue, Chad. Chad?
Did you? No, he's fuzzed out there for a second.
Hey, wait. My name is Chad. I thought that was somebody else. I'm sorry.
Who am I and why am I here?
How did I get here? I'll read Spider Avenger, and then you can read Red Right 88.
Now, do you want the Batman voice? Because I can totally do the Batman.
Dear God, no. Dear God, no. Dear God, no. Oh, no. Even hearing that now is way too much for me, all right? I'm going to start reading Spider Avenger while you get that up, all right? Okay. All right, so I think we're pretty much done here other than the forum comments, so let's go to that. And obviously, while I'm reading this, if you have any comments on said forum comments, don't be afraid to speak up. All right, how political do you like your comments? How political do you like your comments? Great, terrific. Wow, you can tell it's 1:30.
Maverick and Mavericks.